And the reason why what happened to her is because she told Diddy that she knew he unalived Tupac. I want everybody to think that's where the story for her started. Why would all that need to happen to her if what she was saying wasn't true? They laugh off everything else. Why didn't you laugh off that? Right? They're unbothered people, right? They all looking real bothered right now.
Real life street stars. We are back. We are back once again for the 2025
Let's go.
Jaguar Wright, who is more right than wrong, it seems. And we're going to question a lot in this interview. This is something that people have been waiting to see as far as the comeback to the virtual Blue Couch and come back to the Street Stars platform. So before we even get started, Jag, how are your spirits? How are you feeling? How is everything with you?
It's tricky. On one side, it's absolutely amazing. On the other side, it's batshit.
What side do you work best in?
I live somewhere in between.
Okay.
You know, the world has gone absolutely mad and nuts. Lying is a new profession, apparently, and the truth doesn't matter.
So I want to do it like this because it's almost a year. We're going to get down to the truth because almost a year ago to this time is when you came to the couch after.
In the truth suit, it's our one
Yes,
year anniversary from the
it's
truth suit.
yes, it's the 1 year anniversary to where we went on this
When
crazy
I
journey.
look, what 25 million views in 2 months?
Yeah, man, the craziest journey. It propelled us to 1 million subscribers because people in the world after Diddy's house was raided, they now knew that there was more than what was being told to us.
Right.
Um, the Cassie video, yeah. So, Jag, my question would be for you for your journey in all this from March of 2024, April of 2024, coming up until now. How has this calendar 12 months been for you as far as leading into this from the moment we got into it to up until now?
I don't even know. I know it's been a lot. I have been through more and lived more life than your average human being does in 20 years in less than a year. It's insane. Um, it's been a lot of great, and then there's been a lot of terrible. So I don't know. I don't even know where to begin. You know, right after we did that interview was when YouTube unalived my mom.
Yes. Yes.
Still
And
nobody, still no death certificate. Some weird announcements at church, and
yeah, no.
it's been almost a year since YouTube said that my mother was dead. Still nothing. Nope, nothing.
Are you are you searching for answers for that?
Here I am again. I figured I'd give it a year and see what shook out,
Hmm.
but
So a lot has happened. Even again, condolences of course to your mother and
yeah, again, condolences to her for being crazy enough to go live with that Rosemary thing she pushed out in '68. Shame for her. Condolences.
now, now Jack, your family has
What family?
those who claim to be your family.
Yeah, there's a lot of people that claim to be a lot of things regarding me.
Mm.
You know, that's the biggest problem that I had with a lot of the lies that have been told about me from people I stopped dealing with long time ago. Cut them loose. And I cut them all loose after nobody showed up to my son's funeral, other than the people that truly cared on September 17th, 2018.
Yeah.
The lack of disrespect that was shown. And then to go out of the had the audacity to do their own mock funeral with nobody. Body was in Texas, but they was partying on Hawthorne Street.
You know, it was
And my
televised.
son's friends showed up, and then their enemies showed up. And while they were sitting there supposed to be mourning the death of my son, all they did was make it possible for one of his best friends to get his head blown off in front of my only living child, Sam, who still never had any counseling for witnessing that unaliving, which he totally could have missed if he had been at his brother's funeral. But then if he had come home, he would have stayed home, and then his daddy couldn't have got nobody to pay for that open heart surgery, right? Amir and Tariq, y'all caught up the Jigga Man, right? Y'all hooked it up.
Yeah. Okay, Jack. In this interview, we're going to be doing a lot of unpacking. And we're going to move around, but
Get a dumpster.
yeah, it's going to be, it's about to be
There's
heavy.
so much trash to get rid of.
Can we start with Mar-a-Lago? Um, you
You want to
actually
start
went.
there?
I want to actually start at Mar-a-Lago.
What
Um,
about it?
you went to Mar-a-Lago. There was an award that you received, and I want to start with that because a lot of people don't know this exists as far as from our fan base that kind of what you've
Mm-hmm.
been on, what you've been what's been happening with you since our last interview. And the
Mm-hmm.
Mar-a-Lago was a big event. Can you explain what that was, how that trip was, how they embraced you, and also the award that you won?
Well, the award is back on the mountain at the property. I don't travel everywhere with it. Um, but this man put the Defender of Freedom Award in my hand. I was nominated by Liz Crokin, down a rabbit hole, baby, and endorsed by Mary Flynn. The event was at Mar-a-Lago.
How did it feel getting that award?
I wish I could tell you. I still really haven't processed it yet. Ever since I got it, people just keep trying to unalive me. You know,
Yeah,
such a beautiful night. Look at our dinner cards.
amazing, amazing. The award was for protecting freedom, or what was the actual
Defender of Freedom.
defender of freedom?
Hmm.
To be recognized for that in itself, in that title, um what did that say about your journey up until that point, like that someone's taking notice, or how did you look at it, like there's more work, way more work to be done?
I was very grateful that the day finally came. It's wild. People really don't accept me for who I am. It's funny. It's nice to have someone that actually does in my life now. Salute to Sophia Stewart,
Yes,
the author of The Terminator and the Matrix,
yes,
the real Oracle. Me and her haven't even gotten a chance to talk about it yet. Like, I haven't gotten a chance to talk about any of this with anyone because from the second that I got it, for whatever reason, every weirdo YouTuber that's been using my name for fodder and clout and pennies to try to discredit it or discredit me Can you imagine one of the most beautiful nights of your life totally just disrespected by a bunch of losers who will never touch paper this fine or be invited to a place as pristine internationally with the president hosting America's future in the American Exceptionalism ceremony for the Defender of Freedom Award. And there were so many other honorees. I mean, and all of us were there for the same reason, because we spoke up against something uncomfortable because we saw the harm that it was doing. Joker, remember I was telling you about this guy? This is the guy I was telling you about. Gary Brecka.
Correct. Um,
The Ultimate Human is his podcast, and he is a ridiculously endowed by God biologist who's teaching people how to live longer because we can. He spoke out against what was happening. He went through hell. Mike Tyson was also honored, but people just like making fun of him. Russell Brand was also honored. And it's funny, I never thought I would have lived to see the day where me and Russell Brand would have anything in common. That's the funny thing about life. We got three things in common, me and Russell. We both believe in Christ and his message and his truth. We both are speaking up against the human teleporting and the essaying and all of the crazy stuff in between. And we both were honored on February 18th at Mar-a-Lago as defenders of freedom for America's future. And ain't it funny? Both of us ended up in a lawsuit doing heinous stuff. Ain't it weird?
yeah, no. Let's get
Yeah.
right. Let's get right to the lawsuit. We see Jaguar Wright in the lawsuit along with Sean Combs, Diddy, and there's a few others. There's I believe Drewski,
Big homie
uh,
CC
big homie CC's in the lawsuit. And can you explain what was that
and
lawsuit?
Odell Beckham Jr.
Odell, yes, let's not forget Odell Beckham Jr. as well. Uh, for the people that don't know, what was that lawsuit? Who was it? And the date that they even put on there was like a date you weren't even around to do that. So can you explain what was this lawsuit that they were saying happened to said individual? If you feel like speaking on it.
I'm gonna give it respect and then I'm gonna keep it a buck. I'm gonna keep it all the way a being. The Ashley Parham lawsuit was important, very important. Everything that she went through and everything that dirty cops allegedly allowed to be swept under the rug. What happened to her was terrible. But up until I won the Defender of Freedom Award, the only woman that anybody mentioned doing terrible things to, around, and with, and facilitating anything, any kind of harm to Ashley Parham is Christina Coram. KK, fun girl, Miss Ivy Drip.
So why even throw your name in it? I mean, you've been speaking out a lot about all this. Is it more so that hey, you could corroborate some of these stories, or why even put you in a lawsuit as if you were part of something that happened to Miss Parham?
To make me look bad, to make America's future feel bad for allowing me to be nominated and giving me an award to make me look like a hypocrite. That's why. The question is, has anybody really paid attention to how sick that whole thing was and what they said I did? What they said I did. I was in Las Vegas and I picked up a Jane Doe and a John Doe, mother and son, and forced them into a car where I was the passenger. And some woman that sued Michael Jackson after he died, lying her ass off, was driving. I had all these envelopes filled with cash and I'm paying everybody off. And then we leave Vegas and allegedly we went to California. And then that's when I kicked into action, when we got there. Because I had to organize the whole thing. Right? And I said, allegedly, I said, Jane Doe, John Doe, mother and son that don't nobody know, ain't nobody seen or heard from. All of a sudden, I'm telling people, get the remote. This hoe gonna learn today. That's what they said. I said in the law.
We didn't get a chance to read it all. What was
And then
Drewski
I
and
told them that if they didn't, participate and watch and witness, that I was gonna make sure they got that remote control too.
what was Drewski
Really? Really?
in Odell's part in this? What did they say?
I don't know. They said they all did. They jumped in. They got involved. They did. They said Big Homie CC did her first. Now this is the thing. I know it's all lies. I know it's all cat. Period. How have we gotten to the point where Americans have become so pathetic? And just because you can't handle the fact that you're losing, you just gonna make up some heinous story and put it on a woman who is just honored as a defender of freedom for speaking against all of these heinous acts. We can't take her down. We can't beat her. Oh, let's just lie. Let's put her in a lawsuit. What's something that a crazy black girl would say? Yeah, she's gonna learn today. Write that down. This is what people are doing. Meanwhile, they have now added all of this to Ashley Parham's real case. And the reason why what happened to her is because she told Diddy that she knew he unalived Tupac. I want everybody to think that's where the story for her started. Why would all that need to happen to her if what she was saying wasn't true? They laugh off everything else. Why didn't you laugh off that? Right? They're unbothered people, right? They all looking real bothered right now. And now they've used one of the greatest advocates against all of this craziness to destroy a real victim's case. Because the truth is, it doesn't even matter what's in that lawsuit no more. Using me the way they used me, there was no way in the world I could have done it. That's the thing. Whoever it was over there coming up with their little storylines, tuned up, no doubt, on that 2C. Whatever's left of it, I heard it's getting scarce in the marketplace.
Oh wow. Well, Jag. Speaking of the two,
Really think about about that.
Yeah.
They made this shit up. And it couldn't. That's how sloppy they are. They didn't even bother to fact check. March 23rd, 2018. I was waiting for them to give me my trial date that I demanded for a crime that I did not commit, that I was released, and all charges were dismissed, nulle prosecute. So I was charged with a felony, and the case was crap. So they had to drop it. I want y'all to think about what I'm telling you. March 23rd, 2018, I was in jail waiting for a trial to beat the rap for a charge I did not commit. And that was all set up by my first ex-husband, who was a Rock Nation loyalist. I got set up back then. And I was sitting in jail when they made this story up. Can you imagine that? Beating the rap on something that you already beat the rap on because somebody set you up before. I don't know, guys. It's just starting to feel like people like setting me up.
Seems to be a reoccurring thing. Mm.
That needs to stop. Because, see, they made a real big mistake, and this is how you can tell it's not very intelligent people running these plays in the backdrop. Y'all, you knew y'all fucked up, right? Y'all know that. Like, you fucked up. Big time.
Come on.
You
So
can't question anything that I've said before or ever again without irrefutable hard fact and proof. I ain't got to answer nobody questions about nothing. Can't nobody haul me in the court about nothing. The litigators have all of my credentials from Chicago, proving that there's no way I could have did all of that terrible stuff that they made up. And I will be filing my own lawsuit.
yeah, that's the
And
question.
all of it's going to be based on a hate crime. Because I do believe that the reason why I was put in that lawsuit was because I was awarded the Defender of Freedom Award. You know, that's also tortious interference because anybody that I was looking to work with, after hearing about something like that, that would probably kill a lot of opportunities, wouldn't it?
Hey. Hey.
Why is everybody so blind? Is stupidity just that enjoyable? I'm suing whoever filed that suit against me. I am suing them. We are suing for 100 million. All my pain, all my suffering. I have a legitimate mental health diagnosis, complex CPTSD. Something like this could have pushed me into a nervous breakdown. What do you guys think?
Hey.
Definitely.
Right. As we've seen people took it worse. Let's just say that. We've seen it go worse for some other people.
Meanwhile, 5 years, 5 years. I've been telling people if I'm lying, sue me. And now the first lawsuit I end up in is a lie. crazy person. It's weird, isn't it?
That's a word for it. That's a word
It's
for it.
weird.
So Jack, can we speak on
Who,
that's
Ariel Mitchell kid? That weirdo?
not yet. We'll circle back.
Oh.
But let's stick with the Diddy in the room.
Oh,
Um
the Diddy of it all.
yeah, the Diddy of it all. Do you feel like this is the beginning of the end or the beginning of something that's about to, you know, shift Hollywood, shift the entertainment industry?
There is nowhere else but down for all of these people.
Okay.
As I study to become an ordained minister, non denominational, of course, I'm here to tell y'all God ain't playing. He's not playing with any of you. When I look through the thumbnails of the coverage of one of the biggest true crime stories of our contemporary ages, I mean, the Diddy story is gonna end up being bigger than OJ. And
Mm.
that
Facts.
we all know what that's been.
No,
Why is everybody lying? Why do all of you content creators think that your lies are going to keep working for these weirdos? These people are strange. They have strange habits, they do strange things, and most of them all line up with demonic occultism.
Omar Gooding, he had told us, to
Man,
we should be
ain't his
stopping
brother
Jaguar.
hiding? Why
He said,
don't you tell Omar to go find his brother so he can come back and tell Mars to give me the $250,000 that he owes me before I'm forced to sue view it? And all of their books have to open up and people find out that decentralized just really means allegedly money laundering.
"Oh, oh, okay, okay." So one thing that
Tell
you do
Omar
get,
to go find him and bring little Justin back with him. He's got his own cases to answer for.
Mm, man,
Scattering like roaches from the light.
come on. Now, now it's interesting because when you speak your truth, and people come back and question, it gets interesting the way you kind of lay it out, and then someone tries to fix what is technically, let's say, a version of the truth. And Tyron Turner responded to you saying that
I
they were
got shot
playing.
at the end.
Yeah,
That's what I call that nigga. I got shot at the end.
man.
Best movie of his career, and he couldn't even make it to Atlanta.
Mm.
They capped him right out there on the lawn. What did I? Yeah. So
Yeah,
I got shot at the end. Here, what? What
yeah.
he
He
said?
said, you had said he was, playing naked basketball with Jamie Foxx, and
I said that about him. I don't even talk about him.
yeah, I think someone said that you had said it, but with
Yeah,
that being
that's
said,
funny. And people love just believing what everybody else say.
right,
So let's hear what he said, so I can tell you what it really means.
right. No, he said it wasn't naked basketball. It was horse. It wasn't basketball. It was a game of horse in
That is
clothes.
basketball. It's a basketball game.
Yeah, he said clothes came off. Yeah, but there was girls around. I mean, but it was
Strict basketball.
basically.
Were the girls wearing white fingernails?
Come on, come on. It, and it just goes to show that, I guess, again, there's versions of how someone sees it and how someone else sees it when it comes to.
You want to know what's funny? I don't even talk about that dude. I already thought he was gone. Honestly, when I seen him, I was like, oh, he's still alive. Why would I talk about somebody that I already thought was dead? But the simple fact that he felt the need to have to do a whole interview to explain that the naked basketball was really just a naked basketball game and there were girls present. I don't know. That sounds like a hit dog hollering to me.
Mm.
I guess that's why you got shot in the end.
Mm.
Wasn't no need for a sequel. You
So
poor dummy. You poor dummy. You just he ran straight to the internet to tell on himself.
it was a little. He
No, true
confused. He confused
story.
us more.
No, true story. It shouldn't have confused anybody at all. Everyone should have understood exactly what they saw. Hold up. True story. Cousin of mine who I used to love, who I no longer see anymore because of my lifestyle, because of my choices. She had a boyfriend who used to cheat on her all the time. Matter of fact, we lost touch for a few years because of him. He lost his mind, started thought he was Ike Turner and figured he could slap every woman in the house. So in the midst of our estrangement, or should I say, in the midst of our yes estrangement, I said that right. You know the dyslexia be messing with me. I bumped into him on South Street, and he was with a chick. And I seen him. Like, what's up, Shane? How you doing? He had a little friend. I was like, hello. And I told him my cousin's name. I was like, tell her I said hi. That
Mm.
idiot ran. And this is back in the 90s when they still had payphones on the street. He ran to the first payphone he could find and call her up with a cockamamie story. If she called you and she say this, she lying because I was nowhere near South Street. And whoopie, meanwhile, he on a payphone on South Street. Wanna know what's funny? Me and my
Shoot.
cousin didn't talk about that for almost a year. I never said a word.
Mm.
I never said a word. I ain't say nothing to her or nobody else. That's how she knew she was able to finally break up with him.
Mm.
Because if I didn't say anything, why the hell did he?
Wow.
Yeah. So as we go down
Do
this,
you understand what I'm saying?
yeah, I would hear you.
That was a I got shot at the end move.
So as we go down this
Fuck
rabbit
you,
hole,
Tyron. Keep my name out your mouth.
well, there you go.
Don't ever think that my walk with the Lord makes me any less me. Stop clout chasing off my name. Stop believing everything that everybody tells you. You know, reality ain't a script, idiot. Because that's exactly what you are. You're an idiot.
Jack, that's menace to society, Jack. I mean, he's a
Yeah, he
menace to
got shot
society.
at the end. He ain't even get to make it to Atlanta. Why should I let him make it at all? He couldn't even make it to Atlanta in the movie. Why am I gonna let him make it in real life? He can
Okay,
take his Akata ass over there somewhere. Keep my name out your mouth.
okay. Message for Tyrant. Message for Tyrant.
Yeah.
Uh,
Message?
message. So Jack, as we
Regular
go,
Wayans Brothers style, not tongue kissing brothers
the
Wayans style.
regular, yeah, regular Waynes. We gonna get to we gonna get to them. Um, uh, we have to get your take on you know day 26.
I've heard of kissing cousins, but have you ever heard of kissing brothers?
Oh shit. we gonna circle back to the Waynes. We're gonna circle back to the Waynes. Um, we got to get your take on day 26. When they was crying on
Mhm.
Vlad's platform about bringing up the name, just bringing up Sean Combs' name, Diddy's name, where five grown men are crying in a room.
Yeah,
What did you take from
just
that?
like did
Seeing,
he like it?
damn,
I'm sure if Diddy saw that, that gave him quite the tickle. That's how he left them in tears. How many times do I have to say it? I said it on this couch, right here on this couch. They're strange. They're all bisexual. They doing weird stuff with kids.
I mean they're grown men though. They're crying. I mean it's
Yeah.
like they're crying in unison, like at the same time. Like
Do you know what the stats are on traumatized human beings?
no.
You stay at the emotional maturity level that you were at the age you were affected.
Mm.
Your life stops until you become a survivor, until you decide to take your life back. The only thing I saw, because I couldn't even look at a lot of that, I was disgusted. Because to me, that whole thing, it was nothing but evidence of everything I've been saying. And people still took that light. But then again, what choice did they have? It was being served to them by that milk toast. You know, I'm still not understanding how people really have a hard time accepting Vlad for what he is.
Yeah, yeah.
Why do people still sit with him?
We could ask those people.
I mean, thank God Adam 22 is going down in flames. Now Vlad's platform can start popping again because for a 6 million subscriber platform, he shouldn't need to come to y'all for a boost.
Yeah, I think Vlad, Adam, academics, Trap
Matter of
Lore.
fact, for a 6 million plus subscriber platform, he shouldn't have a video in his catalog under 1 million views with all the hype that he gets. The DJ, less DJ. Has anybody, I heard it on a channel here on YouTube. Shout out to Set in the West. Has anybody ever seen Vlad DJ a set?
I think it was his pass,
What do you mean?
like 2001. I don't know.
2000 where? Where did he DJ? Wasn't he in New York at that time, right?
I believe so.
What club did he DJ at? Because I went to all of them and I ain't seen him in none.
Maybe practicing DJ.
I ain't seen him now. Not now. I ain't never seen a DJ Vlad mixtape, a compilation, the Hennessy sampler. Nothing. Where do we buy his music?
Mm.
Because from what I've seen, all we've ever done is bought his bullshit. How you a DJ that don't DJ, G? Is that all they needed to make it possible for you to infiltrate? Get you a Serrata, sit it in your living room, and then put a drum set behind you that you can't play, so you can get a bunch of not so wise individual to line their own self up on your platform.
Mm.
Where did you DJ?
Hey,
That's all
hey,
you gotta do. Just find a white boy and call him a DJ, and then all of a sudden he's the best CI in hip hop, allegedly. And you had the audacity to talk about me, talk about my career. At least mine's is real. Yours was made up. You hear me? I ain't playing no games with you, Vlad. Because I know what you are, I know who you are, and I know who's running you. DJ.
Mm.
From disc jockeys to dick jockeys.
Damn.
You a hoe. You want to talk about me? My catalog is amazing. The catalog that I never released is 10 times better than that. What you done to make you qualified? Touré is more qualified than you. And he's a whole fruitcake who signed his own nephew up to go work for the diddler when the diddler was doing his thing. Why was he in any Diddy documentaries? Why was he speaking anything about anything? Clearly, he was cool with it. He sent his family to go work with that monster.
Do you think that's why he came at you, Toure? Because
I think he
he
came at
actually
me the same reason I got shot and he came at me. They needed the boost.
Mm.
Y'all need to stop using me for boost. Just go buy some with your malnutrition selves. If you're looking for nourishment, go get some. Stop feeding on me.
Hey, message. So so Jag,
No kissing brothers, Wayne's
yeah,
message.
yeah, we there you go. Terrence Howard, Hustle and Flow. He just recently came out and told a story
Mm-hmm.
that he was supposed to go work for Diddy, and he was summoned there multiple days to
Mm-hmm.
show him the ropes, and he ultimately felt that Diddy was trying to, in his own words, quote unquote, fuck him.
And
Uh,
take his man card.
yeah, yeah.
He cares very much about that card.
Yeah, what when you heard him tell this story, because now he just went online today to defend anyone who's questioning that story, to say it with the chest and say his name directly and come at him directly to question anything that he says. What are your thoughts when Terrence Howard tells the story of you know
He's telling
did,
the truth. So was Columbus Short
mm, real
last year on Boss Talk Radio. Looking real suspect down there, G.
1 a.m.
They
Get that
damn
phone
near
call.
had the same story, didn't they? Or is everybody forgetting that a year ago, before Diddy got arrested, that Columbus Short told this exact same story? Except in his version, Diddy called him at 2:30 in the middle of the night while he was laying next to his wife, summoning him to come spend time with him. And then apparently on one instance, he had went and he was drinking and he said he said that was the moment that he was grateful he was an alcoholic because he knew how high his liquor tolerance was and there was no way he should have been slumped off of one drink.
Mm.
That's what he said.
Yeah. Yeah.
The question is, why you answering the phone for a grown man while you're laying next to your wife at 2:30 a.m. in the morning? Why are you answering? All right, you making runs? Okay.
Yeah, yeah. Cat Williams said, "You got to tell Diddy no. You got to tell him no."
You got to tell the devil no.
There you go.
5 letters, Diddy, devil, same thing.
So
Same thing.
as we're delving into this world of of course, the Diddy the case is coming up. We did an interview. It's not out yet with Chopper City from Making the Band, and he said he ran into Cassie right before that
You
lawsuit
mean
came.
making the victim?
Oh man, you said it. it and
I'm not laughing at the horror. I'm just laughing at like people still really don't want to accept the truth.
it, no,
It's amazing.
No, yeah, no. He said he ran into Cassie before the lawsuit, and she told him about Kid Cudi's car, a lot of stuff, and he was there for a lot of it. He said, yeah, all that stuff was true. He said, from what he saw, all of that was true, even
Yeah.
with no, I mean, even with his girl and everything. So the question I have is, when the trial does come out,
Mm.
and again, we're almost a month away. And again, I asked you this before, but do you feel we are ready to hear the full truth of all the victims that you know have something to say that they may bring
We
forward?
should be. We should be ready. The only way we're not ready to hear the truth is if we don't want to accept it. And see, that's where it gets real. There's just a lot of people that don't want to accept the truth. There's a lot of people that feel bad because they miss wearing Sean John. There's a lot of people that was waiting for the next white party. There's a lot of people that needed that party because that was the only way they were going to make it. You know, that's the thing that's bothering me. Why nobody's holding into account the very people that are helping create and weave all of these very unreal stories and tales to try to get people to be distracted from seeing the actual horror of the truth of what really went on. They're all doing this to protect their lives. It's not even about Diddy for most of them, but Diddy's how they got on, and Diddy's how they stayed on. And if Diddy's gone, then they got to go find somebody else. They got to find a new devil to suck up to. And if you're not already in good with the Jigga Man, then where do you go? Because that's pretty much how they set up the business. If you don't go to the dealer, you go to the Jigga Man.
Mm.
Strap.
E- Even in the case, do you feel like everything you're saying, but even also Gene Deal, do you feel like Gene Deal may be a key witness in this case?
I don't want to speak for or on Gene's behalf, um, because at the end of the day, he came forward long before me,
Yeah.
and he's been fighting this fight. And the truth is, anything that I say, they're gonna find a way to twist it up, turn it into something else. Somebody gaslight somebody just to start another fight or an argument about something. What I can say about my friend Gene Deal is this: he knows what I know. He knows what to say and not to say, just like I do. Anything that Gene has to say is going to be important. Anything. But back
Speak.
to Terrence Howard, because
Yes.
we just skated right
Yeah,
past
yeah. We
that.
just get right back. Come on, hustle and flow, man. Come on, man.
He's telling the truth. Mhm.
Yeah, he's saying that that
Hold on just 1 second.
please go ahead.
Security. 1 second. Mhm. Sorry.
Take your time.
Mm, my apologies.
Yeah, no, take your time.
No, I just ever since Mar-a-Lago, I don't think people really understand what my life has been like. So,
No,
um,
no, I totally understand. And it's you just said something as far as things that people take things you say out of context, and the things that you say are important. It seems like you know you spoke on Will Smith on our platform,
mhm,
and at the time he was very quiet, but now he just recently dropped an album to where the intro song called Barbershop, he addresses sounds like things that you brought or you were bringing to light, to where the rumors about him, the things about him and his wife, he's addressing them on this album. Do
mhm.
you feel like what you're saying reaches the ears of Will Smith, and he needs to get at least, if there's smoke, there's fire. Let me grab a fan.
Number one, as far as Will Smith is concerned, until he does right by all of those children that were harmed and corrupted while in his care, children that grew up to be men, boys like Bashir Gray, August Alsina, your own son, like your own son.
It,
Do people forget about that voice clip that I played from Brother Belial?
hey, it,
Has anybody seen Belial?
come on,
I asked him, didn't I ask for him last year?
come on.
Where's Belial? Is he missing with Cuba? Have they all moved to Bali with Russell Simmons and Kevin Liles?
It, I would always say it is interesting when you speak on, Jaden Smith, and you see the hug with Justin. I mean, with
Justin Bieber.
Justin Bieber, and then
Mhm.
with for Bashir, you see him all of a sudden fighting over Sydney Star with Eddie Winslow. It does question what happens in the entertainment industry that makes that makes someone go into just being very close with men on men contact. It's interesting. I'll say the least.
You want to know the thing that bothers me most about Bashir Gray? I actually think he's doing all of this so they'll take him back in the club.
Mm.
And they're not. They're going to keep gaslighting you and playing with you, promising you one thing or another. Not now, not now. Just next year is going to be your time. You need to get yourself out there. You need to.
Jack,
I
I
know
have
the
a question.
stitches.
So we speak about you dealing with the
What happened to
Illuminati and
Bashir
having
Gray
ties and things
should
like
have
that
all
and
of
denouncing it.
America
Can you
in
tell
an
me
outrage.
one one
They
of the
watched that
things
kid
that they
become a
that they
star,
promised you that would
and now
happen?
they're watching him become a fallen one, like a comet speeding. How long before he decides it's time to cash out now? How long?
Mm.
Because the one thing I will say is this: anything happens to that young man, better not nobody say a word to me. For years, I've been yelling. Salute to Moran Morelli. He actually talked about it the other day. Talked about how troubling. And the one reason that I can appreciate Murad's commentary is because he's also an SA survivor. So he's a young man who went through these things. He knows what the signs look like. You know what I'm saying? Like he can see. Why does nobody else? Why? And that was the only issue that I had about what Terrence Howard had to say. Because of all that he talked, he say nothing about Bashir. He played his television father. He
Right.
was on set. He saw what Charlie Mack and them were doing. He knew they were taking those young boys to Diddy. They all knew.
Mm, mm.
I guess his man card only counts or is only large enough to cover his asshole.
Okay.
Because if you truly believed in all that you say, there is no way you could stand by and watch all of those people that you worked with do what they did to those kids. And you said nothing. Like if you're going to have integrity, it needs to wrap all the way around the building.
Yes. Facts.
You got to have integrity for it all. If the man card is the thing, and you ain't gonna let nobody take yours, when you see a younger man being preyed upon, you're not gonna stand in the gap for him and say, no, you ain't taking his man card. No.
Mm,
Cause see, that's what a real one would do.
mm.
Meanwhile, you've been this close from making that amount of money that you wanted to retire for what, like 16 years? You think you gonna get it? Do you? You've always you Terrence Howard has been 2 movies away from retiring for the past 16 years.
He still speaks on Iron Man.
And guess what? Don Cheadle ain't had no problem with scooping that up.
Mm.
I guess the man card. Like I'm looking at all of these adult black so-called elite entertainment whatevers. Y'all don't get no damn about what's happening to these kids. And y'all don't give no damn about how it rips them apart for years after. I'm actually about to present one of my new podcasts. It's called Tracking the Pain.
Oh.
It's
Oh.
going to be a realistic and esoteric investigation um, into the life and the work of an artist leading up until they signed the contract and everything that happened after.
Wow.
I will be working with a psychic and a gematria specialist to really make sure that everyone is seeing not just the physical side, but the metaphysical side as well, because people don't like to believe that we live in a spiritual realm that is being controlled by frequency and sound, and it is. One of the first artists that we're going to be investigating, well, actually, the first 3 that I believe we're going to be investigating will be Absol from Top Dog Entertainment,
Yeah.
Justin Bieber, and Donny Hathaway.
I mean, Justin Bieber was young as hell.
And he got depressed real early in life,
Yeah.
didn't he? You know, it's amazing when you hear the first album, you can hear the joy and the enthusiasm and the excitement for life and for art and all of that. But then that second album comes and it starts to get a little different. But by the third, fourth, and fifth album, they're talking pure insanity.
Mm.
It's depressing. And the music is that low vibrational, lower chakra only music, which encourages recklessness and a constant, persistent state of unrest. Stress from that, unchecked, can lead to cancer. But they don't want to talk about that. This man talks about that. A defender of freedom. Don't nobody want to talk about what matter, do they?
At all.
When an artist goes from making songs about love and life. Like when you look at Raheem Devon's first album, the love, like that, well, not his first album, but his first like major release project, The Love Experience.
Hmm.
I've been listening to that again. Guess Who Loves You More? The song You remember that? Oh, everyone in this song's gonna be about you. You remember that?
Yes, ma'am.
Oh my God. And then he had songs about his community and what he wanted better for his people. Like there was so much different. And then all of a sudden, next albums, songs become a little more sexual, a little less community, little,
Mm.
and then the next thing you know, it's you competing with Tank about something on your plate.
Hey, hey,
And then all of that, and now you got October London. Ain't that so?
hey. Okay, I think Rook had a question. I guess
Sure. Hey, Rook.
maybe
Hey
he did.
Jack. um, I was just saying about the
What would
Illuminati.
this
You
be
speak
without
that
a
you had
technical
ties
difficulty?
to Illuminati back in the day, and you denounced it. I just wanted to know what is it? Some of the things that they promised you. Then
Are we taking five?
No,
can you
no.
hear?
Could you hear Rook?
No, I can't hear anything.
Jeez Louise.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I
Um,
think I just heard something there. Rook?
Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
Rook, you down
well, I hear
there?
him.
He's about to
I
make me.
I hear him,
You
but you
down
can't
there?
hear him.
Are
Right,
you
right,
down
right,
there?
right. Well, what he asked was, he said, what are some of the things, when we talk about ties to the Illuminati and the things of promising in the
Mhm.
industry? What are some of the things they promised you as you were coming into the world of entertainment?
All of it.
Like anything specific
The
or
world.
wow?
That's what they promise you. Kind of reminds me of Yeshua when he was in the desert on his 40 days and 40 nights and he was fasting. And the devil waited until them late days. He didn't show up when he was fresh off some pita bread and fish.
Mm,
He waited for him to get at his tiredest, and he waited for him to get at what he thought was his weakest, because he thought he would be able to trick him into accepting something that he really couldn't offer. It pissed him off when Yeshua looked at him and was like, "How can you offer me what belongs to my father?" It's kind of like that in the music industry. Matter of fact, it's exactly like that. You
wow.
sign, and you talk about all the great things you want to do, but then they talk about marketing, and then they talk about this, and they talk about the demographics, and who your competition is supposed to be, and these ad brand tie-ins, and this, that, and the other, and all of this. They don't care about the music.
Mm,
So imagine what that's like. You making all that sacrifice, all of that effort, all of that energy that you poured into getting to that point, and then you have your first lunch, and then it's the after party, and then they want to offer you to, you know what I mean? And then it's, hey, why don't you come back to our house? They take you on a ride. Look, all you have to do is, it's constant gaslighting. That's what the industry does to artists. And then they make you believe that what you believed in really wasn't that important. Because what really matters is this. Now you can say some of that stuff. That's great. But we need you to really say this. That's how it goes. And meanwhile, all of that influence tricked a bunch of kids in New York, I believe, to go to a Rock Nation school
yeah.
where they study the Book of Hove. I don't know
Well,
what, because see, personally, that HOV, it means something different to me. I'm not stupid enough To call a human being any name that belongs to God, that's just crazy.
H to the Izzo.
I had to sing that, didn't I?
Yeah, yeah, he did. He did beautifully, might I add. But yeah, yeah, he did.
That's how good I am at what I do. I can even make what I don't want to do sound good.
Wow, that's real. Ca- then that takes me to Carrie Hilson. She just did an interview with the
Kim
Breakfast Club.
Pie,
Yeah, yeah, yeah. To where she talked about,
Peachy Man.
yeah, man, I'm telling you,
By the way, congratulations, guys, to your platform. I've never seen a Peachy Man ad
a peachy.
on that come up. Yeah, you
There you
haven't
go.
heard about the Peachy Man?
No, please, please.
They're 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 products for power bottoms.
Oh shit.
The slogan is making bottoming easier.
Oh shit.
It's like a sitz bath for your ass for men.
I have not seen or heard of that, man. We it's
Yeah,
20,
and they,
25 for
like I
sure.
said, congratulations.
It popped
That
up on
guy,
it.
that Anton Daniels guy, I done seen that ad pop up on his channel about at least 5, 6 times.
Boy, these algorithms.
Well, the thing is the ad tie-ins is based on the demographics of who watches your shows.
That is very true. That is very true.
A lot of peachy men.
Oh man.
A lot of peachy men must be over there.
Oh man. So let me get your take on, Carrie Hilson says
A
she never
and D ointment.
God damn, God damn. Damn. Um, Jack. So no. So Carrie says she never wanted to diss Beyonce, and that the singer at the time she didn't disclose it, but Esther Dean turned out to be the writer of "You Turning Me Out" remix, where she's dissing Beyonce and others. And she said she fought that to not do that, and they said if she didn't do that, she would never have a career, and therefore she did it. This Beyonce, and we see what happened to her career after that anyway. And then now Esther Dean has just come forward as of like today, and she confirmed like, yeah, I wrote that, and yes, she Carrie Hilson fell on that sword back then. Is that something that even either you dealt with, or is that something that happens in the
Of
industry where
course,
you're gonna go by their agenda or else?
it happened to me. It happened to Maya. They tried to do it to Aaliyah. They're always asking you to do that. They're little humiliation rituals. Not because it's necessary. They just want to see what they can get you to do.
Wow.
Most of the time, the things that they're promising you, they're lying about. They're never gonna give it to you. They just want to see how bad you want it. It's a dog fight. It's Mandingo fighting.
All right.
All plantation politics still happening in pop culture today. It's frightening.
Yes, no, without question. Uh, and real quick before we get off Diddy fully until we get back on him,
How
no
can we
Diddy,
get off Diddy?
no Diddy. Uh,
How can we get off Diddy?
um, Uh, I'll be sure it's somebody that at the time when you were doing your run back in 2024, you were waiting to hear from him. You knew he was going to say something. He finally waited to do the Diddy documentary to finally speak, and I think TMZ put out, or I forgot who put it out, but there was a documentary kind of put out on the downfall of Diddy, and I'll be sure was part of that speaking his
Yes.
story. For you to see him, because again, he was very calculated on who he spoke with, whether it's real life or whoever it was. He was calculated as far as who he was going to speak with, but he ended up finally speaking and it going on a documentary. What credit do you give him for coming out and at least starting the conversation?
What do you mean? What credit?
Yes,
All credit.
there you go.
One of the best moments for me was seeing that documentary and watching how the footage that they took from this blue couch lined up perfectly with everything he had to say. Why did that not hit?
That
How
I
did that
don't know.
hit different?
Right.
I'm just
And you said it on your platform too. Like, why aren't as we're closing in on this trial? Why isn't
so
there more?
how didn't that hit different?
Right.
Because as much as I love, I'll be sure, much as I love Mr. Albert Brown Sr., father, grandfather, amazing artist, incredible writer, wonderful entrepreneur, and radio personality. It's so funny when I talk about all of the things that my friend, I'll be sure, is. It's funny, everyone forgets that he did all of these things. Like it's sad that not until that documentary, people didn't weren't even acknowledging that he was an original investor, owner in Uptown Records that got demolished. So bad boy. They just strip away everything. They lie about everything. But for me
Yeah.
to say what I said, and me and that man have not been in each other's presence since Kim and Giovanni passed away. And not because we don't like each other. It's just not safe. It's not safe.
Wow.
But for me to be able to say the same things that he was saying, and we haven't even been in each other's presence, how did that hit different?
There you go.
It's like they just don't want to accept the truth. Angie passes away.
Yeah. That right there.
Al said something. I said something. We were attacked immediately.
Right.
Why? You want to know what else I find funny? We got attacked for speaking about the truth. But all of those other entertainers, ain't none of them say nothing.
Mm.
Especially the females who were mentored and influenced by Angie Stone, no different than me. Not as much. I was truly influenced by Betty Wright, but then again, Angie Stone was influenced by her. So I guess it's all the same thing.
Can you
That
speak on?
woman,
Yeah.
that
Can you
woman
speak on her?
created, that woman was the birthplace of Neo Soul. One of the best Neo Soul albums of all time is one of the first, Brown Sugar.
Come on. Come on.
That was Angie. They gave all the credit to Michael, but that was Angie. Her arrangements, lyrics, influence, choice of tracks, direction. And she could do all of those things. I was just watching a clip on Instagram of her and her son that she had with D'Angelo when they were watching the How Does It Feel video together.
Yeah. I saw that.
Did you see that?
I saw that.
I cried.
Yes. Yes.
That boy didn't even know about the tattoos of him on his own father's body. How not?
Wow.
How did your mama have to tell you about a tattoo that your daddy got put on him when you was born? How did your mama have to tell you about that when you was grown?
Yeah.
Watching your daddy's video.
It goes to show.
She could sit there and she could pick apart everything. She knew that man inside and out. But when I heard her say when she saw that video, she knew that she had lost the love of her life. That
Yeah. Mm.
and he ain't show up to not name funeral. Not name.
It,
Not they. They two.
Right. The details surrounding her death. Do you question anything that happened there?
I am saying, in my opinion, and all of my investigative knowledge for all of the years that I have been in the industry, investigating the industry, and all the harm that it does, it looks like a sacrifice to me. It looks like a sacrifice to me.
Okay. Hmm.
Why do you need NDAs for an accident? Haven't I asked that question on this couch before?
right, right.
Why do you need an NDA for an accident? If it's an accident, it's an accident. Anything said or brought about, there should be no pushback. There should be no hush hush. A lot of people going missing. That driver's missing now too. He
Right.
went to work, turned in his truck, said he was traumatized, and just disappeared. Aaron Hall style.
Oh, not Aaron Hall. Dang, dang, dang.
Maybe they with Cuba.
Wait,
Lil Justin.
where is Aaron Hall? Uh,
They've been looking for that man. They done tried to serve him and find him at like 5, 6 different addresses, G. Like over the course of 5, 6 years, they can't find him nowhere.
he was very braggadocious about certain things back in the day that happened that now look
Why wouldn't
very
he be?
suspect.
Why wouldn't he be? That was the cost
That
of doing business. That was the way it was. See, I think when people see these entertainers and come out and say these things, and they're like, oh my God. Like, you would have thought that after years of listening to me, they wouldn't be so shocked still. All of this stuff was normal behavior behind the velvet rope. It was normal behavior. Demon time was normal behavior. And the worse you behaved, the more you were praised.
at church on Sunday.
For all that's worth, I'm beefing with the churches.
Not the church is not plural.
Yeah, all of them.
Damn. Okay.
All of them, cat. I'm done. I'm done. I'm done with the MK Ultra program. I'm done. I'm checking out. If I come into your house of worship and you got a white Jesus on your wall, I'm walking out.
Why are you walking out after
Because
seeing a white
Yeshua
Jesus?
wasn't white.
I
He
mean,
wasn't white.
we'll leave it right there.
He's a black man.
Yeah, but hey, you have
It
no
said it
argument
in
from
the
us.
Bible. He had hair like wool.
Yes, there you go.
And his feet coming out of his robe was bronze.
So to put a white man as Jesus, is that just blasphemy? Is
Absolutely. Not
there you
only
go.
that, it's breaking one of the 10th commandments. Thou shalt not bear false witness. It's funny as I'm studying the scriptures more these days, it's so funny to see how people just mess it all up or make it something completely different than what it actually said. Thou shalt not bear false witness means do not lie on someone else. You're not a witness to yourself, are you?
There you go.
Can you be a witness to yourself?
No.
Because if you could be a witness to yourself, there's a lot of people that could just go to court, say whatever they want to say on the stand,
Invite themselves in
and
to
get off.
right.
You can only be a witness to something or someone else. Thou shalt not, do not bear, meaning give, false witness. Thou shalt not bear false Witness, that means if you want to lie on yourself, you can lie on yourself all day long. If you want to tell people you're a pink giraffe and that you fart Skittles, you can do whatever you want. Because guess what? What you say out of your mouth, you have to live with. It's your instant karma. Whatever you put out, that will come back. God don't need to judge you. You already judged yourself. But to lie on another, God made that a law. Not thou shalt not be homosexual. Thou shalt not bear false witness.
There you go. There you go.
Anybody who can paint Yeshua as anything other than what he is a lie. And they lying on him. They're bearing false witness. Does that not add up?
It's like one, two, three.
I'm just saying, I just took the sentence. See, and that's the beautiful thing about me being a writer and a brilliant orator and just the appreciation that I have for word.
Yes.
See, most people don't even realize they breaking God's laws, but they worried about jaywalking.
Come on. Come on.
I'm just saying, man has thousands of laws, and people can't seem to. God only
Come on.
got 10. 10 laws.
There you go.
How the hell can humanity keep up with 10?
A lot of them humanity don't like.
That part
Come on.
sounds like you got a God problem. Maybe y'all should stop hating on me because I choose to believe him, follow him, and serve him. I tell people this all the time. If you hate me, you hate God. I'm just doing what he told me.
There
Don't
you
don't
go.
don't unalive the messenger.
And real quick, Jack, D'Angelo,
Who is
him and
that,
the
Michael?
yeah, him and the Roots.
Yeah, they're going on tour. It got announced the day
It-
that Angie was gone
yeah,
and the day that they tried to take me.
yeah. What does that say? Like that right there is it raises antennas.
Raises antennas. Police were dispatched to my studio where I did not physically live, but while we filmed, I would stay while we were working and then go home. There's a lot of things about my life that I can't tell people about, and nor do I need to explain.
Right.
But my God, when uh, like this short, I don't know if you've seen it yet, Joker. Hold on one second,
Okay.
because I want to make sure it can be heard. I got a speaker right here, my bad.
No worries.
Okay. So, hold on. All right. These visitors came knocking on the Dizzo, Poe in the Mizzo. Not a first time for me. Knocking on the wrong Dizzo. And then I was actually there getting some stuff prepped for work. So they confronted me when they left, and this is the conversation when they confronted me. Hello? Hello? Hey, how you doing, sir? Any kind of Jacqueline here? Right. There was no Jacqueline that lived there. Like I bet you not. That's the same night that Angie Stone was unalive.
Wow. Wow.
Oh, all right.
It's right there. It's right there. Um. again, damn antennas. Raise the alarm. Shit, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Them tickets ain't gonna sell the way y'all want them to. You miss me. Meet me.
There you go.
And I can honestly say right now that the only reason I am still alive and Angie Stone is not is because I stopped taking Schluminati gigs.
Mm.
The last Schluminati gig that I did where I chose to go in for the booking was with Keto Gentry in Houston. I thought me and Keto was okay.
Mm.
The things that people will do for money.
For the love of money.
That was the last show that Goomba came out of town with me on. He's terrified after we left there. Totally triggered.
Mm.
When that light fixture came falling from the ceiling where I was supposed to be standing. But because of my intuitive nature, I always change the stage position on the day that we get there, just in case. He was sitting at that keyboard, that young man, very talented young man from Dallas, and almost got his head taken off by that thing. Thank God he was young and fast.
Yeah, I remember.
That's where I was supposed to be standing. Bang like that on the head with an object that large could have taken me out instantly with the right impact and pressure.
Wow,
And we still did the gig. It was sold out.
true artist.
It was sold out. And yet only 105 people showed up. Like barely a quarter of the people that were supposed. So all the tickets were bought, sold out. But only 120 people showed up for a New Year's Eve show where they paid over $100 for their ticket. And you telling me 75% of them just decided they wasn't going to come?
There you go. So, so
I
Jag,
guess I guess the 100 people were just supposed to be witnesses, huh? Like at Angie's show.
wow,
It's funny. Her last show reminds me of that last show I did with Keto Gentry. When I asked Keto, what's going on? Who are the sound company? And he finally told me it was Carl Thomas's people. That's when I knew.
mhm. No,
Keto, I'm sure you're not going to be happy with me saying all of this out loud because it's really going to just make you look like, you know, that was all right after Takeoff passed away. And I kept telling everybody that I believed Rock Nation was behind it. When they couldn't sabotage the show, Carl Thomas's sound company just up and quit in the middle of the gig while I was still performing. We hadn't even made it through the first set. We had two sets that night. We didn't even get to touch the second one. They literally walked out while I was in the middle of performing and people were dancing and having a great time. When asked why,
sure.
we didn't know we were supposed to be here this long. What do you mean you didn't know you were supposed to be here this long? You were hired to do the sound for an entire show. I didn't know sound companies had meters. What do you mean you didn't know you were supposed to be there that long? Your job was to be there the whole night. The only reason you would be saying that or thinking that is if you knew that the show wasn't supposed to happen.
Wow. You, speaking of Jag, you know,
Carl Thomas, me and you have unfinished business. You diddy do wop bop ho.
Carl Thomas.
It was his sound crew
Yeah, yeah.
and his people that fixed that light fixture. I guess Diddy called. Jigga Man made sure the Keto got in line. Thing one and thing two. Like Gene Deal said, Jay-Z and Diddy is a package deal. And Will Smith, you copying Jay-Z saying that you and Diddy were never friends, that was corny. That was almost as corny as Erica Wright, Bad You, creating that weird, what was it, the pussy juice?
Now, Jag, it
And
is
and the bitch
interesting.
said and the bitch said that she put her own bodily fluids in it. See, the problem that I got with that is that Gwyneth Paltrow did it first, and it sold more, much more popular than that pussy juice business.
Now,
You
aren't y'all
decide,
cousins?
huh?
Aren't y'all cousins by way of like the rights or?
Yeah, evil is as evil does. I don't know about it. She a witch, allegedly.
Now she just went on stage with like a Erica just went on stage with a huge BBL bodysuit and
Yeah, I
like,
did commentary on it.
oh really? What was your thoughts on that? I mean, just
NPR just struck me
oh
because of
shit,
that video.
oh shit,
I didn't even play no sound. I did fair use commentary the whole 9 yards, and they struck me for it.
oh damn, the powers that be.
The tiny desk coming after the big Jaguar. Ooh, I'm so scared. My music series gonna trash y'all.
Hey,
I don't
hey.
need to come sing in no library.
No, but Jack, seriously, all the Erica Badu, I don't want to call it hate, but criticism.
It's not hate. These are facts.
You're very critical of
No, I'm not critical. I'm downright holding that hoe accountable for every terrible thing she's ever done. Why is that a bad thing?
oh yeah, no, you pick and choose your battles.
She's a liar and a thief and a bride and the bride and groom running around snatching up people's umbilical cords and placenta, doing God knows what with it. I hope that wasn't in that pussy juice. Because if so, everybody's walking around with Summer Walker or Fat or Tiana Taylor's. That's why I told everybody when it came out, don't get that shit that got the COVID in it. That's what I said. I'm sorry, you might have to bleep that out. You know they sensitive about everything.
I mean, hey, when you speak your truth. Now I do have to ask because it seems like at one point in time last year, you were the only person that had disdain for Jay Z, and Kanye West just went on a rant on Twitter
Yeah.
to say "F Jay Z" and his wife.
He been
And
watching a lot of Jaguar Wright videos, boy. I tell you.
hey, I'm trying to stay. Cause hey,
He
you,
sound like he almost sound like me.
hey, he must be on something.
But you want to know what's funny? Didn't I say on this couch that Kanye be ordered, but he needs somebody to interpret. He's getting better.
He's nearing the goalposts. Yeah, what are your thoughts when you see finally that he's speaking his truth? Because Jay Z's his man. I mean, that's his man, and for him to say that, it makes the whole world take notice. I mean, he apologized and he took back the apology. Like, nah, I'm not sorry.
Yeah.
Do you feel that when even Kanye speaks, because he's talking about Taylor Swift, he
Hmm?
brings up Iggy Azalea,
Bieber.
yeah, Bieber. He's bringing up a lot. Should we be listening to Kanye like really closely right now in those not even cryptic tweets, just whatever he tweets?
I think everyone should be paying attention. The question is, why is nobody asking what they're planning to do?
Mm.
Because right now, if I hear another person say that he's not mentally well, I got a feeling he's going to be meeting somebody like Sabrina Marcy, or Lou Taylor.
Yeah, hey.
That's what it sounds like. And now with things with Bianca Censore and the this and the that and the naked and the cellophane outfit, she didn't even get a ticket. She should have been arrested for that.
Didn't
She
even
didn't even get a ticket.
let you do that.
Let me do nothing.
Right.
And
Hell no.
they'll make something up.
Didn't even get a ticket. But what do you feel that was him saying? Like for him to parade her in front of the masses like that, no security, walking to the venue.
He wanted to upstage the Jigga Man and the Bay Bay, and he did.
Mm, mm.
I'll tell you something
Then
right now. People can only do what you let them do.
nah, that's facts.
That girl ain't getting no sympathy from me. She been running around naked everywhere else.
Facts.
Why does everybody got to turn? Oh, look at what he made her do. No, you need that for the story, so you can find a way to discredit him and not have to listen to him.
Mm.
I mean, that girl is that girl.
I mean, but Kanye kind of does it to himself when he puts on the swastika or he puts on the black. What people look at, they interpret as a Klan's hat to give a
No,
message.
it,
It
no, it
does.
was. It was exactly that, and I understood it for what it was.
It, does he lose the message of what he's trying to say when he does the
I
antics to
don't.
make you look at him?
I don't know. I don't think he did it. Honestly, in my opinion, it looked like symbolism.
It looked like symbolism.
Because the truth is, all of them are working for slave masters. So why can't everybody just treat him with the same respect?
Mm.
Since y'all like slave masters so much, well then let me put it on in. That's how it read to me.
Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you what, that made more sense to me than what Erica Badu had to say about the advice to the women in the industry and all of that suck hard nonsense.
Yeah, to tell the women to suck hard or to what's good advice. Suck harder or suck hard or yeah, it's kind of wild. Again, for
No, that's not kind of wild.
yeah, that's not kind of wild. That is the definition of
That's
wild.
that's Diana Ross. I just crashed into the dry cleaner and jumped like Herschel Walker over the counter and tried to hide under a bunch of fur coats like nobody just seen what I done. Like that's that kind of crazy.
But maybe she's speaking her truth.
What truth would that be?
That you gotta suck hard. But I don't know. I don't know her truth.
You
I
want to
can't.
know what's sad? Watching all the people that try to make it something.
Yo, yeah.
Like watching people trying to make crazy make sense is funny to me. They wrap their mind. I'm like, I wish you would put this much thought into your own life. You might be somebody.
Boom.
Like the way they go out of their way to think for these people after they say some crazy stuff and do some crazy stuff. Oh no, well see what that really what see what they were really trying to get us to understand is what? Your mouth ain't open wide enough. Like what? Make it make sense. Fuck you memes. But seriously,
Mm. Maybe they're looking to protect their idols.
why? They're not supposed to have any. That's another one of God's laws.
False idols.
Thou shalt not bow down or worship any other God than me. You're not supposed to have idols, idiots.
There you go.
Part of the reason why I never wanted to be on that show, American Idol.
Come
The
on.
title alone is blasphemous. Nobody's supposed to have an idol. God is a jealous God. Serve him, or you will meet your doom.
Correct. So, you know, you came on our couch, Jag, and you sat down with Orlando Brown. Thank you for that, by the way. That was an impromptu moment that just turned into something else where both of you guys sung a song
Yeah.
that was a duet of the ages, Twitter, the it went crazy. It went crazy to to
Yes.
to where
Thank
Orlando
God
Brown.
something good came out of that moment.
Right, so something good came out. And Orlando Brown just released that song and video about a couple of weeks ago. And can you tell us what happened to a version I heard of y'all were trying to work on something together?
I don't know
Did
what happened. You started going crazy and getting beat up by guys that just got out of jail. Or maybe I do know what happened.
Hmm. You went mute. Oh, you weren't supposed to say it. Now go ahead, go
I'm
ahead.
sorry.
Now say it again. Say it
I
again.
told that boy, don't try me.
Mm.
Everybody's still worrying about what I whispered in his ear, aren't they?
They still want to know, Jack. What did you whisper in his ear?
Ask him.
It,
I tell
it,
you what, must have worked like a charm. Look at him.
man.
There's nothing like watching a ball of yarn unravel.
Mm.
So unpredictable and still entertaining.
I'm curious. Would you have wanted to do that track with him? Put that part of your musical catalog.
Mm. I think Orlando's best where he is, in purgatory. And I wish him all the best. But if you ever play with me or any of my children ever again, what I whisper to the universe will do more harm than what I already done.
Mm.
Don't ever in your life play with a real one.
Come on.
I mean you no harm. Well, maybe that's not completely true. But you made your choice. I wonder what old Orlando's gonna do next. I got a
Oh,
feeling he's about to crash out in about 45 days. I got a feeling in about 45 days, Orlando Brown is going to show the world a side of himself that I don't know if he's ready for.
oh. Message.
Your
Um,
days are counted. Live
wow.
them well. Who you become on the other side of that 45 days is up to you. But I promise you this, it'll go viral.
Oh wow. That only makes us more curious what you whisper, but
Ask
I,
him.
I digress. I digress.
Ask him.
we, we'll try. We'll try. Something else that happened last year was you broke down the beef between Kendrick and Drake as it happened,
Yeah.
and you spoke on the greatness of Kendrick, and a lot of people weren't hearing you because they were too busy being into the Drake zone of things. To where when that Super Bowl moment happened and Kendrick looked at that camera and said, "Say Drake," and the whole world started chanting A minor. Where were you at when that happened? What was your thoughts just to see that take place? And what were your thoughts of his performance?
It was brilliant. It was probably one of the most selfless acts that I've ever seen an artist do full out there, out front, um, in a time where most people make it all about themselves. Not only did he give us a hip hop opera from a song that still slaps, like it just came out last week, He gave us black art, black culture, and not only that, it was wholesome. It was still stylish. It was still trendy, but we didn't see nobody naked. I think the most skin we saw was with Serena.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. They
It was
call.
so respectable. It was a Black History lesson at the beginning of Black History Month.
Yes, yes.
And nobody really acknowledged that, not even the NAACP.
Because he hid it. He hid the messages. You got
No,
to
he
be.
didn't. He made sure you could see it because if he had a told people what he was doing, they wouldn't have let him do it.
Man, come on.
They wouldn't have let him do it, which is why it was kind of weird that Diddy was sitting over there leaking what the performance was looking like before it happened. What's wrong with him?
Trying to help a friend.
Who? Who was he trying to help? He needs to help
Drizzy.
himself. He needs to help himself. Log off of Discord. Because, see, that's the thing that I'm still surprised everybody got past so fast.
Yeah, they got past that real quick.
At the top of the year, he was caught G-Uniting 15-year-old boy, a young man 20 years younger than him, on Discord with an audience watching. How is he still around?
That is interesting how they pick and choose
No, 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 no,
who's
no, no, no,
canceled.
no, 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 no. 1 second, you was about to be in full on trouble, and then all of a sudden you take a shot at Kendrick, and then everybody forgets.
Mm,
How did that happen? Please, somebody make it make sense to me.
interesting. Yeah, you.
It sounds like your old boy said, "Hey, we need you to do this one, and we'll you know, what I mean, we'll take care of that." I wonder if that kid's been paid yet and has an NDA.
Mm, man.
I wonder. The simple fact that after that, people still showed up to his channel.
Yeah,
For what?
yeah, yeah.
He acted Diddy.
It, and it's crazy because even Jonathan Hay came on and he spoke on we should be watching Jack Harlow, situation with Johnny Depp and things of that nature. Are we as a black community only focused on the destruction of our own people versus watching what these others are doing? Or do you feel like we're more focused on our
We
own?
should have been watching Marilyn Manson closer before he started mentoring Travis Scott.
Hey, well, mm,
Nope,
yeah,
nope. Everybody's still trying to pretend like Astro World didn't happen either.
yeah, yeah. That is
How
fact.
many of those cases was Tony Busby handling?
Oh yes. Speaking of Tony Busby, you have to at least acknowledge, Jack, that you're seeing from Ron and to Lil Ron and to Busby, a lot of these Diddy and Jay-Z lawsuits, some of them are falling apart. Um,
No,
they're
they're not falling apart.
okay. Go ahead, please.
Those cases were never falling apart. If they were falling apart, we would have never heard about them. The judge wouldn't have. It wouldn't have went down.
Mhm.
No, those cases were torn apart, ripped to shreds.
Okay.
Anna Kane being forced to come forward because of Lamisha Fuller.
Mm,
Anna Kane was Jane Doe status until Lamisha Fuller. sat here on multiple platforms of 500,000 subscribers or more. If you look at all of the views with her saying that she was the girl in the D&G shirt, we're talking at least 10 million views altogether, all platforms and the clips and all of that. That's 10 million eyes that bought that crap. And then she gets busted as a liar. She was rewarded with a YouTube channel after Adria English and her both discussed on a recording about what was going on in Yellow Beezy's trap house with little people and pharmaceuticals and pow pows. And how Lamisha Fuller's boyfriend threatened to unalive her and Adria if they kept running their mouth about what was going on in Yellow Beezy's house. Also have that recorded as well.
Mm.
Yeah.
S-
Yellow Beezy Rock Nation,
Yeah, and give me your take because again, Dallas is a home of yours to where
It
Mo,
is.
Mo 3 case has been open for almost 5 years, and now we're seeing not only more individuals come forward, but Yella Beezy getting indicted for murder for hire.
Which he should be.
Yeah, give me your take on that because it rocks the city. It does rock the. It does rock the entertainment industry in the city. Like what's next? What's going? Like what's this all worth at the end of the day?
That boy and others preyed on Mo 3, was afraid of his rising star. They knew they were going to be eclipsed by him. I mean, I got to shout out to a couple of some of the content creators that I listen to. One woman was saying, she was like, now they got him back out on tour because he got to earn that money because he broke. He had to put up everything that he got to get bond. Everything. They had to sell jewelry, all kinds of stuff. And he back on tour. That's on me, but
It- I
does
say what?
anybody really want to see him perform that record anymore? That woman was right. I gotta give it to her. Hats off to you, man. I don't want to hear that shit. That shit was played out the year it came out. It only stayed on the radio because of where he was from and who he was connected to. I tell you one thing though, I got to know Mo 3's catalog after he passed away. Yellow Beezy couldn't put a finger on his talent. Can anyone disagree?
Yeah, I would say what does it say
It would
when
take
you're
100 Yellow Beezys, and you would still need a touch from God to get close to what Mo 3 was starting to push out. His career was cut so short. He really did have a lot to offer. I wonder what he said no to behind the scenes.
Mm.
Because what they did to him and the way they lined that up, all of those cars, they staged it.
Mm.
Swooping stops. They put effort into this. They were on social media. Send me your cash app. Send me your cash app. That's how stupid these people were.
Mm.
They did all of this right out in the open.
Allegedly.
Uh, I, I'm looking at the evidence.
Yeah, yeah. I want to ask because you've had ops, of course. And what does it say when you're like you've
Oh,
before you start coming on like the blue couch and before you start speaking on this stuff? It's like your voice wasn't that big. What happens when you like someone sees like, okay, we're gonna ignore her because her voice ain't that big, but you start kind of gaining traction and you start getting bigger and bigger that people look to stop you now, like, oh shit, they're coming up. We gotta silence them.
Yeah.
You experience this.
I I'm living with it right now.
Yeah.
I've had to move 15 times in 5 years,
Mm,
which is why starting a couple years ago, I stopped living in one place anymore.
mm.
I can't afford for, like, I'm not scared of anything. I fear me more than I fear any of them. And I fear God most of all. But you got to learn how to have respect for your enemies. And not respect them like, oh, well, they're decent people or what. Not like that. Have respect for what they're prepared to do to you. Show that some respect
Mm.
because they mean it. So I make sure I earn theirs because I mean everything I say.
And you're a very polarizing figure. Can
Mhm.
you have any advice for Charleston White when he says, after the little girl that was, you know, killed out here in Fort Worth, and then his video drops and it's showing him. They always love to put a snitch jacket on him, but when he says after the little girl and starts getting flack for saying that to a child, what advice do you have for a polarizing figure, the polarizing figure?
I think he has a breathing problem. I think Charleston White has a breathing problem. I do.
Mm.
I think he should just stop doing it. Stop breathing.
Damn, son.
That's your problem. You're still breathing. You need to stop because you are a cesspool of hate. You are a small little cowardly person. And if you think anybody believes that you got hemmed up the way you got hemmed up with no bond and you just walked away, if anybody wants to believe that's true, don't be stupid. You finna get everything you got coming to you. I really ain't even gotta say nothing on you, G. I do know one thing. If I ever get 5 minutes and there's no cameras present, I'm gonna make sure you have two glass eyes. Cause you really are a piece of shit. He helped rebel rouse all of these youngins with all of his talk. He's just as big a part of the problem as the drug dealers he says is the problem. Him.
Yeah, no,
What
this,
do I
this,
know? I'm
no,
just the Diddy
it, no,
bitch.
this the part where we
Isn't that what
say
he
like,
called me? I'm the Diddy bitch.
oh damn, damn.
Ain't nobody talking about that no more until Diddy got locked up a week later, you goofy fuck. Go die and take Trashy K with you.
it, it
Y'all
also
should
makes.
really stop pretending like y'all not cool in the backdrop too. It's kind of corny.
Yeah, no, I think they did an interview together, and she apologized for trying to ruin his life and out his people, and he accepted the apology, and I guess it's kumbaya.
Birds of a feather flock together, or maybe allegedly, CIs can be cordial. Allegedly.
Mhm. So, do you mind if I ask you, Jag? Then, even in our hiatus, as far as getting you at the top at the end of the year, you did a lot of business with Sean Atwood. Um, how did that relationship start? How did it just kind of get working with someone, over there, and giving these stories to that side? How was that for you as far as getting your voice? I mean, again, your voice gets heard. If you're living on a rock, you probably haven't heard of Jaguar Wright. But to get to that side of things, how was that for you as far as that audience embracing you?
Number one, the Atwood audience always treated me with respect, the same respect that I get over at Popcorn Planet with Andy Signore. Salute, Andy. Um, it was very fine. There was nothing wrong with the audience. You know, oh fuck it.
Real life resource.
Tell you what I know. Any man that goes to jail and starts running with the Aryan Nation for protection and for community, that's blood in, blood out, babe.
Hmm.
And considering the uniqueness of your demeanor, I have no doubt you got punked. No doubt. With those guys and you being from overseas and you having problems with someone who was legit mafia, yeah, you would have had to. What else did you have to offer? But the thing is, when I think about the way his platform almost single handedly destroyed some of the most important Diddy cases, it's heartbreaking.
Yeah.
Or the meddling with my content, sending so-called people from your platform to support and to be there and to defend because y'all believe in me and whoopty whoopty woo. And yet all five people that came from you, every last one of them, not only clout chased, opted up against me, and then started using me for negative content and commentary. Some of those people have wrenches in my channel. They did sabotage on all the platforms that are affiliated with mine, told lies, did all kinds of stuff. And his booker, who started the whole race war in the sectors, has ties to law enforcement. And his nephew just got a job as a deputy sheriff, something.
It- it- when that goes to when you speak on Tammy, uh, even that right there, as far as your relationship to Tammy and the situation.
I don't know. I can't even really. It's I gave a deadline. If I don't hear anything by tomorrow, then I have no choice but to come forward and give my final summation on the whole thing, and also offer all of the people who wanted to come and confront you on the Jaguar Wright show an opportunity to give their side of their relationship with you, because at this point in time, you had a real story. You said you wanted to come forward, but then you you have a fight with your lesbian lover who you said is abusive and makes you go down on her while she still smells like urine, even though she just got out the shower. Who tells you you ain't shit without makeup on, and that she can get any bitch she want. That plays you down in public and doesn't even refer to you as her significant other, just her peoples. and who drove you out of the place where you were staying with her when she was demanding that you pay her bills there while you were paying your bills in Mexico. Total financial abuse and manipulation, control. Pushed you, accosted you, harassed you, took all of your stuff, threw it in trash bags, and threw you out in the street in the middle of the night while you was drunk. You were driving. You had to pull over and you needed someone to come help you. And our platform did. Made sure you didn't have to drive around drunk. Took you back to the studio where it was safe. You had a bed. You had your own bathroom. You were provided with hygienes. And I'm a chef. I cooked 2 meals for you while I was in your presence. The best one, you were too guilty to eat. The brunch you scarfed down in our face. We were supposed to be filming that evening. You said you had to go meet up with a friend, just some guy friend, and then you give us an address to the location that you said you were going to that you never went to because you were never going there. Meanwhile, the counselor that we place with you to help you deal with all of the stress that can come along with exposure and to make sure that you were able to do this safely and without too much extra trauma. You called her and asked her to help you negotiate your way back into a volatile situation, which, by the way, when you left, you keyed up that woman's car down to the primer. You was in such a rush to get away. You left your phone, your main phone, the phone you never let that out of your sight. Then all of a sudden your social media starts being managed from something other than that phone. And then you had just paid the bill, but the phone got disconnected. And hmm, if I didn't love God as much as I did, I would tell everybody what I found in that phone. The plans that were made in that phone, the threats, the harassment, all of it. And then you disappear. And you don't speak to nobody. You don't return no phone calls. We were calling the phone, but then we realized the phone was still there. And then when we called the other number, it was very strange. And you send weird text messages, not the way you speak, the way Amber speaks, but not the way you speak. And all of a sudden you need to take a retreat and it's just too much and you just want to go back to a private life and you don't want to do the public thing. You want to step out of the public eye, but you just did an interview with an Instagrammer on Monday. Y'all are intelligent gentlemen. What does that sound like to you?
Forethought. Forethought.
Because if you were running away from that situation that was so bad, you had to call the police. You was afraid somebody was gonna try to get you locked up. You was cussed, you was pushed, you was treated terribly. Your stuff was thrown out in the street. All of this stuff going on. You so mad, you key up the chick car. Why would you want to go back?
Hmm.
2 days later, why would you want to go back? And more importantly, if we had a known that you played these kind of games, we would have just let you sleep in your Jeep like you do every other time that woman has thrown you out. If this was just a lover's quarrel and going back and forth, why did we need to come and get you in the middle of the night? Why did you need to be rescued? Why did you need a place to stay? Why? You could have just slept it out until you drunk off You slept off whatever you was drinking, and you could have just went right back. What does it sound like to y'all?
Hey,
What it
games.
sounds like is somebody creating an emergency of some kind of great catastrophe so that they would have the ability to be in my private spaces. That's what it sounds like to me.
Mm.
You went to Tasha K before you came to me. And you didn't want to do the Tasha K show because she sounded like a drunk and whoop-de whoop-de woo. And you just had to. I don't know.
Mm.
What's that sound like to y'all?
It sounds like games being played. Ugh, damn. Okay. Okay. I definitely appreciate the update on that. But we got to get your take because again, this is something that not only Suge Knight have come out and said,
Mm,
but Whitney's, I believe it's her own cousin. I think it was not her sister, but saying that Ray J
mm.
really had something to do with it. And they said if we really go back and look at it from the party continuing with Clive to Ray J walking out, covering his face, uh, being
Hiding under a jacket while I believe, wasn't it Waffles
yeah,
that
waffles.
scurried him out the back
It, it
as he walked past the bus that had Whitney in it, even though they had another one reported in the pictures of that? Like, yeah.
yeah. Should we look further into when we see things like this that this is before social media was what social media
We
was?
should always look further because there's always lies. Always. So many people didn't even acknowledge Angie's passing.
Right, right.
It was almost like they were told not to.
Angie was trying to blow the whistle on
No,
her
she wasn't
revenue.
trying to. She found out they robbed her blind. She wanted her money back and she was ready to expose Queen Davis.
Correct. Tyler Perry spoke up for her.
No, he didn't.
Oh,
That's
okay.
not what I would call that. That sound more like to me, where's my cut?
Ooh.
That's what that sound like to me. Because Monique was very right about one thing. You don't get to be outraged over Angie when you did the same thing to her. And still doing it lightweight. You don't get to be outraged over Angie after what you done to Monique and still have not apologized for. You Monique's Clive Davis. You Black Davis. You ain't no different.
Come on, come on.
But there you go, part-time fake bishop, laying your hands on spiritual power bottoms,
Damn.
allegedly. Well, not allegedly, I watched you do it.
Damn. Okay.
Like we
But
didn't see Jake's twerking and busting out his back while the woman talking about push the baby out. We done been here before.
okay. Okay. And lastly, Jack, I have to ask you about you
You
know.
sure it's the last thing? Because you don't
It,
sound
it,
like you nowhere near done.
no, yeah, I got some more to talk about because before I even go to what I was about to talk about, I got to get your take on R. Kelly remixing Chris Brown from Prison. Residuals. It sounds like it's funny that an R&B dude is in jail making more rounds in the R&B world than the people that's out, except for Trey Songz punching folks. You know what I'm saying?
You heard what Jesse Smollett said.
What did Jesse say? No, what did he say?
That even after Robert Kelly got blacklisted, they were still using him to ghostwrite for Star.
Oh, damn.
It's on the podcast.
Wow. Didn't know?
After I realized Jesse was busy trying to line me up, I released it so everybody could hear. Right before the election.
Mm,
And then he got pardoned right before the administration left. They overturned his conviction
mm.
for lying.
There you go.
Even though he tried to convince me that that whole thing was a plot against him because he didn't want to work with R. Kelly,
Mm.
which is really, really, really confusing because you said it was MAGA people that came after you. You didn't say it was
Right.
anybody from the TV shows or from the studios.
Correct.
That make some kind of sense.
Come on.
You blame MAGA, but the real reason why it happened was because you didn't want to work with R. Kelly because you got mothers and sisters.
Mm.
You got aunties too.
Okay. Come on.
Your aunt, Kamala Harris, by marriage.
Oh, damn.
You didn't know that?
Didn't know that.
Yeah. Kamala Harris's husband is related to the Smollett family.
Wow. It'd be starting to make sense a little bit.
Demonic National Convention party.
Jeez.
Shout out to Jasmine Crockett. I can't wait till they investigate the rest of your finances.
Mm.
You got a lot of property for a little girl in politics. She's starting to look more like the Black Marjorie Taylor Greene to
Oh, hold
me.
on. Hold on. Let her make it, Jack. Let her make it.
Let her make it. Sounds like she's making it real good. She's got a lake house. She's got a condo. She's got a townhouse.
Okay. Only been in
Pretty
office for like
steep.
for 3 years, it seems like. Damn.
That's
Damn.
the accelerated track in politics. Nobody makes it in politics that fast. Nobody gets it that quick. Unless you're cheating or you're being propped up.
Mm. Oh, okay.
But then again, I do remember you from the parking lot of Papa Do's.
Mm. Okay. God damn. God damn. Um, let me get your take
I
on
remember when she first started trying to get over to Washington. What was that back? 2016.
Yeah, she came on our platform right before you wanted to run for the representative of, I think, Oak Cliff or South Dallas or
Yeah,
one of the
yeah.
districts. And once she won the district, she there was a big push behind her.
There
And
was a
then
huge push behind her, and I know the people that were pushing her.
mm,
And unfortunately for them, they fell for the abomination plan.
mm, not the
People
abomination.
really, 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 really are pissed off at me that I called it right, ain't they? Because I told y'all Trump was going to win.
You did? So wait, you're not pissed at the tariffs? Or we haven't seen the effect of the tariffs, but
Understand this. Whatever surgical work he's doing to stop the hemorrhaging of finances that the demonic National Convention Party has put us through, it's necessary. Like, that's the thing that I don't understand. If everyone's talking about how broken the country is, why are you mad at the people that are trying to do their best to fix it as quickly as they can? He ain't even been in office 6 months.
I don't know.
And look at what's happening. Didn't your eggs get a little bit cheaper?
Hey.
Gas is a little cheaper in certain places. It's going to take time.
Yeah.
Y'all ain't had no problem giving all of that time to the Dems when they was screwing everything up. Keep that same energy.
Well, Obama just said yesterday that if it was him doing this, he would get crucified. Maybe because he's saying I'm a black man doing it. But he said, imagine if it was me doing this.
Uh, it wouldn't be you doing it because the people that's running you wouldn't let you.
Ooh.
Stop acting like you have more power than you ever had.
Mm.
Puppet. Your
Not,
authority is about as real as my Jaguars.
not,
Puppet.
Pinocchio. Is it, Michelle Obama. She's always been a target of yours.
Not
Uh,
really.
yeah, I'm gonna say y'all you vouch or what is your status and your outlook on Michelle Obama as of
At
right now
one point
today?
in time, I wanted to support her because she was a black first lady. Period. She was black. She wasn't mixed. She wasn't anything. She was a black woman and she was first lady. Let's not act like that didn't mean something to every black woman in America because it did. We were trained for it to matter in our minds. We need to stop worrying about color all the time because the truth is, the biggest problem with the black community is the black community. We can't blame it on this color or that color or this uh, political party. No, we have to take responsibility for what we've allowed to happen to us.
Mm.
We always looking for somebody to blame. Blame yourself. You know, it's amazing. They sat by for all of those years and watched nothing but lies and nothing but confusion. And then everything went haywire and the dollar just plummeted through the floor. Y'all wasn't talking all of that talk then. So don't talk it now. Like if you didn't care while you were watching people screw things up, then just keep your opinion to yourself about people that are trying to clean that mess up. What is it in America that if we don't like somebody because of the way they look or the way they dress or if they don't, watch the same, like it's so funny. It's like it's almost like everybody wants everybody to think the same, be the same, act the same, do the same. Do you remember that time when I sat here with y'all and I said we're so free we don't know that we're not?
Yes, ma'am.
Was I wrong?
Every day proves you right. Every day we keep looking and breathing.
Everybody's supposed to be so rebellious. Everybody's supposed to be so this and so that and such a badass. But the truth is, Americans are the most compliant people in the world. You do what
As,
you're told and you believe what you see, even when it's a lie. Y'all can sit there and listen to it and hear nothing but lies be told. But because you see the picture or the image, you register it as true. That's how our minds have been trained. You have been trained,
yeah, no, the moon landing
which
I for
takes
sure thought was
which
real.
but it takes me back to the Bible again. Lean not into thine own understanding. Like it'd be really killing me. Like how many people really don't understand what the Bible say? When you lean on something, you lean on it because you believe it can support you. It can hold you up. You can have faith in it. When you lean on something. So when God says, lean not into thine own understanding, he made it very clear. It was made very clear. Don't believe what's in your mind because everything in there is lies.
Come on.
If all you know is lies, lies seem normal, don't they?
That's facts. Tell it
Like
to a
like like
kid.
a kid that
Right.
grows up in
Right.
in the Klan. He was not born racist. He was not born a bigot.
Right.
But years of systematic programming to his environment around him has him now thinking and believing and feeling ways about a person who he probably would have a good time playing trucks with, you know? And then that little boy grows up to be a teenager. And then he starts putting all of that activity out into the world and that energy out into the world. And then it finds him. And now he's got a reason to defend it. And then the next thing you know, he's wearing a white hood and burning down houses.
That is facts.
Everything that that little boy was taught, he believed it to be true.
In the name of white Jesus.
So, yeah, fake Jesus. So when he takes a life and his mind is justified, it's the same with everything. We ain't no different than them. Look at the way we do our people. Look at how we do ourselves. You're nobody if you don't have this car. You're nobody if you don't own this much jewelry. You're nobody if you don't summer or vacation there. You're nobody if you don't wear this designer. I was in my meditation, back at home on the mountain. I think so clear, G. It's just me and God and the birds and nature. And I can hear so much better when I listen. And I was thinking about when I was listening. I don't know why that's happening because I had it on Do Not Disturb.
Right. You said you were thinking about who?
And so
Uh,
I can make sure it's on Do Not Disturb.
go ahead.
Okay. Mm. Don't you just love that?
Yeah. Yes. You got
That's
the.
loud. I don't know why that's. Yeah, it is on Do Not Disturb. Nothing should be breaking through. All right. Well, it's still on Do Not Disturb. Yeah, that's cash. Cash money, baby. Get lower, get mo.
Come
Hey,
on. Come on. Come on.
number one single coming to a jail cell near you.
Oh man, right next to R. Kelly, the remix.
His friends should be there with him. They really should. He shouldn't be going through all of this alone. It's so unfair.
And
But
you,
like
hold on, you
I
were.
was saying,
Yeah, please. Yeah, yeah.
I was 6 years old, right? And Cabbage Patch Dolls was a big thing. And this is when I started understanding that I was just different than everybody else. And when I finally got one, but when I didn't have one, when everyone else did, it was just like, oh my God, you have to have a Cabbage Patch doll. Oh my God, if you don't get a Cabbage Patch doll, everyone's gonna know your parents don't love you. You're not gonna have any friends because we all play with our dolls, and you need to. I mean, I'm 6, and one of the ugliest dolls in America is my lifeline to not being ostracized from society because I didn't own that ugly little doll. So I got one. And then it was, you got yours after everybody got theirs.
Mm,
So I started collecting them. It just became a mission for me almost.
mm.
And I ended up having more Cabbage Patch dolls than most of the girls who got them first. And one day, the girl had asked me how many dolls I had, and I told her it was a good amount. And she said, "Man, your parents bought you all of those?" And I said, "No, I bought those all myself with my allowance." You bought them? Yeah. I was like, I got one that I'm giving away. You want it? I'm getting a new one.
Come on. Jeez. And that's society for you.
But understand that the pressure to lobby all that pressure on that little person. Also, you can force their parents to the store to buy something that the family doesn't even need. That doll didn't make me or break me. It didn't make me any different than I was when I didn't have any or when I had a bunch.
Mm.
Funny thing was, those kids, they felt special because their parents got it for them, but they were all jealous of me and I bought my own. See, that's the difference. Everybody's looking for a handout. That's why all of these people are still protecting these monsters because they're worried about what's going to happen to them when they're not in power anymore. You know that saying? The devil you know is better than the devil you don't?
Yeah,
That's the industry for a lot of people.
makes sense.
There's a
Jeez.
lot of people that just accepted that they were going to have to deal with Clive if they wanted to make it to a certain position because the devil you know is better than the devil you don't. All of those artists who see all of these suspicious things that happen to all of their counterparts that were all managed by Mr. Davis even long before. Long before. I wonder, does it ever really cross Alicia Keys' mind that that man managed Janis Joplin? Janis Joplin!
Mm.
And the
Come
second
on.
that she tried to break away from him, next thing you know, dead in a bathtub, alleged overdose, kind of like Whitney Houston. But people also said that she was beaten up too, allegedly, just like Whitney Houston. How do you sign a contract with a man with those kind of details looming about? With the way
Well,
he treated Phyllis Hyman? How does Jennifer Hudson feel safe with this man controlling her career after what he did to Phyllis Hyman? I guess the devil you know is better than the devil you don't.
wow. Pray about it. Jeez. So, you know, I got to get your take on you've always been vocal,
Mhm.
and we look at in the industry, and we look at like a Wendy Williams. Is there a cautionary tale to be learned when we see the situation going on with Wendy Williams, or is it just again we don't want karma's just a word they throw out there, but is it just old age that happens to you know where you don't manage your money well, family
No,
is
no, they
not put
ain't got
together?
nothing to do with it. They ain't got nothing
Please.
to do with it. They lined her up.
Oh,
They knew exactly who around her was weak and who they could work against her. And then when everything was at its most unstable, all of a sudden, Wendy needs a conservator.
pointed by the state.
Ain't nobody talking about all of that craziness with Kelvin and the Sharita and the babies and the this and the that. Wendy makes it to her son's graduation. They have that wonderful time. They were spending some time together, and then all of a sudden, they she does a couple of interviews. They slap a gag order on her, and now she can't say anything. And then instantly, they start trashing her son,
Mm,
playing with her son. I know what that's like. They've done it to me. Y'all seen Trash doing. Y'all seen it.
yeah, I seen it.
So the only thing that Wendy could have done different was never taken any of their money and just found a way to make it on her own. Because she could have. She had the tenacity. But I think for a lot of people, it's just after you've put in so much and after they've taken so much, damn it, you want yours, you know? There's
Well,
that part where people just get to that point. They don't want to have to start all over again. They don't want to have to keep relocating. They don't want to have to keep doing this. They don't want to have to keep doing that. The devil they know, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I think everyone really should ask themselves, how are all of these other people not able to do what I do?
That's facts.
They want me in a conservatorship. They work very hard to try to put me in a hospital. They work very hard to try to make me this, try to make me that, try to make me this, try to make me that.
Mm.
And yet I'm still here, sane as I ever was. Sound mind, body, spirit, and the closest they can get to suing me is lying about me while I was in jail for something else that somebody else tried to set me up for. This shit is laughable. It's laughable. And
Yeah.
most of it is illegal.
Yeah,
Like
can
what
you?
Sean Atwood was over there doing, platforming all of those frauds and encroaching them around me and trying to give people the ability to make it seem like I was over there helping you lightweight throw Diddy cases.
Mm.
That's why I destroyed every last one of them freaks you put in front of me one by one. I demolished Courtney Burgess. I totally just put Lamisha Fuller on her back. Adria English is an even bigger joke now than she ever was. Chris Todd. Has anyone seen old Chrissy Boy?
Mm.
Or is he
Mm.
busy trying to get a deal like that other white boy who was the diddler's mule, who walked away scot free?
Oh yeah,
All that stuff they found on him.
yeah. He did walk away from that whole situation.
He
At least
got a
for now.
better deal than Jonathan Hardy.
Yeah, yeah, right. At least for now. Yeah, Audie. Yeah, Audie was singing too. He was telling it. Shit.
And did nobody want to believe him in a police station? It's funny. Seems like cops never believe anything that people tell them.
When it sounds that outlandish at the time of, like out of nowhere,
Understand this. That's not what that was. Why does everybody want to believe that all of these people ain't bought and paid for?
that's facts. I forget we live in a country that you can purchase your freedom.
Bought and paid for justice. I can call out 15 states right now that do it. And unfortunately, Texas is one of them because they're doing it to me right now.
Yeah, they say if you.
You have real, serious criminals, dangerous people running around Dallas freely while you still trying to hold my feet to the fire for things you know I didn't do.
Well,
Like, let's be clear about that. While they've been busy trying to run cases down on me, Yellow Beezy been running around for how long? And Mo's been dead since when?
mm.
2020?
So
And he
it,
been riding around, going up to Mario Andretti in that little Mozzie coupe. Go-kart racing.
mm.
And people are putting up fake Crime Stoppers on me for what? Explain that.
Then I would have to explain the power of the troll farm, which that's something that is shit.
That's over. We just waiting for the body to drop.
Okay.
They
Okay.
cloned Set in the West. They cloned the wrench that came into my channel, trying to inflame me, gaslight me.
Mm, mm. It- Please, yeah, give us your thoughts on
The only
the
way that could happen in my StreamYard because it says authenticated by YouTube,
Mm.
a cloned account authenticated by YouTube in my StreamYard studio, trying to convince everybody that they were the real set in the West. And all I said was, if that is truly who you are, we share the same StreamYard studio. Let yourself up.
Mm.
You don't need to hit a link if you're the real set in the West. You have access to the studio directly. I was live for 12 and a half hours proving that fact.
Mm.
It was interesting when the real set in the West came in and all of that evidence that I collected, screenshots, video recordings of the people pretending on camera, sticking a middle finger up at me with a cheap piece of crap ring, fat hands on an unhealthy broad.
Mm.
Isn't impersonation not allowed on YouTube? It's not allowed.
Hey,
Want to know what's funny? Somebody came into my StreamYard that day imitating you, Joker.
I have heard there's a fake life Joker out there. I guess you could say.
Oh no, yeah.
Damn,
It's
damn,
Cultivate with Kai, my
damn,
former mod,
damn.
cloned you and has been running around impersonating you. Why is
Shit.
this being allowed on YouTube? Because they're cloning accounts and they're pretending to be me and people from my affiliated channel saying all kinds of inflammatory things, all kinds of lies, making up all kinds of stuff. Why is YouTube allowing that?
Hell, YouTube could be manipulated. I guess. Shit.
The only way you could manipulate something like that is if you had access to how the mainframe operates and you were able to hack your way in. And if that's the case, YouTube should be scared. Why aren't they investigating any of these people?
Mm.
Why are we the only ones sending all of this evidence to the FBI? I don't know.
That is the question. That is the question. So, with that being said, yeah, we definitely want to let the people know, everything that you have going on, because I know since the last conversation, you have changed a lot as far as your platforming, uh,
Mhm.
and it's constantly cultivating. So, where are we now? What do you have now that you know outside of course Instagram and the
Oh my God, I gotta take down that Cash App. That's not my Cash App anymore. You know, uh, Cash App, they deleted my Cash App.
oh damn. So yeah, we're gonna take that down. We're gonna put some over that. We're gonna
Well, my
superimpose the
real
real one.
cash, well, the Cash App, the only Cash App that I'm interested in anyone donating to now is cruelty free artistry. And it's just $ cruelty free artistry. I forgot to change that.
No worries. I'm gonna try to go in there and
Isn't that funny? The block lawsuit happens. The Jigga Man is named.
yeah.
Mo three's unalivement. The payments were made on Cash App.
Yeah, yeah. No, I
Uh,
believe I believe Zelle was being kind of
oh no,
sued
and Cash App.
and Cash App for being able
Yeah.
to handle these type of situations, illegal criminal activities through
Why
a
ain't
payment
nobody
system.
talking about that? Why ain't nobody talking about that?
No one's talking about
Why
it.
is everyone avoiding all of the things that the Jigga Man is being implied in? They only seem to care about the cases that are either attached to Diddy or make him look like a certified PDFer. But nobody's
Mm.
talking about all the theft, 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 theft. Why ain't nobody talking about that school, that
Yeah.
Rock Nation school, where they promised everybody they would graduate debt free, and now all these kids is up to here, and they're being instructed to get loans, and They changed the terms of the school and the this and the that and the woo diddy woo.
You know, when black schools fail, the Oprah, LeBron,
Did they
they don't.
fail?
No, well, when they're not doing as expected, they seem to
No,
not
did
talk
they
about it.
fail?
No, I don't think so. I mean, hell, I
I,
don't
I
know.
think they're doing exactly what they wanted to do.
I'm gonna say, yeah, hell, I don't know.
Everyone is sitting there talking about, oh, well, the school didn't do well. What makes you think that wasn't intentional?
Mm, it's almost like,
What makes you think that these Akata ain't set all of this stuff up to take advantage of their people because they know how easy it is to do?
mm, hey, there you go. There you go.
You stupid enough to give it to them. That's how they feel.
It sounds like the meme coin where like Trump or whoever makes like this a coin cryptocurrency just to cash out after 24 hours or 48 hours after it's created. It seemed like that's the same kind of thought process. Like, hey, let's create this thing, let's get a lot of funding for it, and then to what school? What we talking about?
He never even showed up. And that book of high occupancy vehicle filled with demons. You got them studying that book about him. Sounds like worship to me.
Mm.
When are all of you going to acknowledge that this is bigger than the reality, the false reality that you've chosen to accept? This is a fight between good and evil. What acts like God will show, what acts like the devil will show. If you keep seeing that these people that you have made gods, that you have made this, that you have made that in your mind, if you choose not to see these people of the devil, it's because you want to be just like them.
Mm. Yeah. Powerful, powerful,
Choose wisely.
powerful. Man, with that being said, uh well, yeah, what outside of Cash App, we'll get that fixed. But what platforms are you on now? What
Well,
channels?
thejaguarwright.com, of course, is what we have going on. You know, I have the Jaguar Wright effect, and that is for the Jaguar Wright community, my Jaganators.
Mm.
That's where we come, and they get to hear it from me. They get to experience it with me. I'm now doing my virtual diary over there. So y'all don't want to miss that. And there's memberships available, and each membership has a different perk. And then we also have the Jaguar Wright Show. And I can't wait to announce who my next guest is going to be. I think it's going to knock everybody's socks off.
Cool.
We'll keep it on the low for a second.
Okay.
For a
You always deliver. You always
Well,
deliver.
part of the reason why is because I haven't said anything, and I didn't want to, but we've been in negotiation with Zeus.
Oh, that's needed. Oh, that's needed. Oh, that might be the right house. Hey, Lamel Plummer, if you're listening, uh,
Um, we've
come
been in
on.
negotiation. They said they wanted to start filming at the end of the month, and I didn't want to speak about it too soon, but hell with it. Might as well. Now, what I'm curious is to how this is going to work because it's for me to do my own like talk show slash podcast there. And it's funny because they approached me. Someone had approached me about the aunties last year, and
Right. I was about to
I'm
say they
I'm
had the
I'm glad
aunties.
I missed it. I'm glad I missed it.
Yeah, no, you're forced by yourself to be. Yeah, by yourself.
Yeah,
Yeah. That
I'm glad I missed it.
you need no co-host.
I was real cool on that. Um, so that was last year, and this is this year. So we'll see. Honestly, they could use somebody like me over there. They could. They could use something that's a little different than everything else over there. but I can't. Um, we'll see if it happens. Like I said, we're in negotiations, so.
Yeah, we're only praying for that to happen. Again, you are the industry. So anything else is probably second fiddle to what you are, which is
Well, I
really
mean, what I have planned for that zoo schedule is pretty ridiculous, especially considering that I'm going to be inviting some of my friends that I met at Mar-a-Lago to come and sit with me and share their stories
mm,
of how fake news tried to destroy their life or their family.
there
You
you
know, that's
go.
the one thing that me and Donald Trump really do have in common right now. Our disdain for fake news and the damage that it does to real people.
There you
Like you
go.
gotta think about the gravity of that. What fake news does to real people.
Right. And then after it's done, it's the apology. it's the
Mm,
it's the oh.
whatever. Whatever. They can keep their apology. They can just pay me so I can continue to build cruelty free artistry because there are so many great artists that after these houses of ill repute fall, they're gonna need a place to go where they can be nurtured and encouraged in an environment that will help them be the best independent artists that they can be because that's all we're doing at Cruelty Free.
There
It's
you
a
go.
nonprofit organization for a reason. Um, we're not interested in signing people to record deals. We're interested in creating partnership, possibilities for themselves as we build the community. To be able to have your own search engine built around you with a system that's there to support it, where all artists are supporting one another. We need that. Like
Yes.
artists need to start caring more about other artists rather than just worrying about competing with them.
Correct.
We could
Um.
do so much more working together. And that's why when I think about what Suge was saying about how when him and the other guys were trying to get together to create their own distribution house so they could walk away from the UMG, so they could walk away from the Warner Brothers, and so they could be a self-contained business, just like what Sam Cooke tried to do before he was unalived by suspicious means.
Yeah.
Um, the
Yes.
simple fact that it was Jay-Z that ran back to Diddy and they went and told the man to shut them down so that they couldn't do that. Like that's the thing that's bothering me. The diddler, the jigger
Mm,
man,
mm,
they have literally done everything that they can do to make sure our people are stuck in bad deals.
mm.
And they say, oh, you're trying to take a good black man down. Why? Because he's a billionaire?
I mean, even
We'll, we'll see.
Jermaine
We'll
Dupri has
see.
said, I don't see why people don't sign 360 deals. Like he's basically saying, sign into that slave culture. I'm like, damn, Jermaine, you're supposed to be on the cusp of getting us out of these type of slave
No,
type deals.
don't forget how he was raised up. Don't forget where he was mentored. Def Jam with Russell and Leor. Don't forget that his father was a major hitter in the game. He is legacy, Jermaine Dupri. If anybody is going to work to uphold the system, it's going to be him.
Mm, mm. Hey,
Like, that's just it. And it's sad. It's
yes,
sad. But the only way to beat the devil is don't take nothing from him, G.
come on,
Don't take nothing from him.
come
Like
on.
I would rather be all of those terrible things, homeless and bereft and all of that stuff, than take anything from the devil.
Yeah, I think
I'm a
he tried to shame what's the name from SWV. In Vogue for sleeping in the car, saying she wants to sleep in the car, and and she responded like, "Wow, that's what he took from that." And
understand this. The victim machine keeps going on. When I heard her say, Ray told me, everybody is every man for himself, I could hear the sadness in her voice because I know if he told her that. Mm.
yeah, no, I already know you're about to go with it.
And then his brother just passed, and think it's weird right now because Wayne died just like a couple of days after Angie, and ain't nobody talking about that either. With
Mm.
all that he did, and people keep forgetting he was the one that actually helped discover Destiny's Child and got them signed to Sony.
Yeah.
Why does nobody know that?
And and I don't think we've even had your take on the Grammys, Jag, when Beyonce did finally got what Jay-Z asked for. Uh
Mhm. I ain't need to talk about it. Everybody else figured it
yeah,
out all
yeah,
on their own.
it's
They
kind of
bought
right in
it.
our face. It's kind of
They bought it.
it's kind of right there. I was like, okay, okay. Um
And they do it right there in your face. Did you see huh, when they called it?
boom, boom. Sell it, sell it. You got to sell it. You have to sell it. You gotta sell. You gotta
I wonder how
sell.
many times she practiced that in the mirror. She practices everything she does.
Were you at least proud of Doechii, who of course still kind of does a real rap thing versus, but then again,
You don't want to know what I think about Doechii. You don't.
okay, okay, yeah, shit. I mean, she admits to drugs. She admits to a lot of things that the industry likes to
I
not to
don't
shy
have
away from.
issue with any of that stuff. What I do have issue with is all of the people who I do believe are industry plants that she has lined herself up with, and now she is selling all kinds of very strange propaganda. When I first saw her on Tiny Desk, loved it. I'm like, now that's talent. That's talent. And then the next time I saw her, she was doing a public concert in LA, her and her DJ, and she was ass naked. She's sitting up there in drawers with knee high socks on.
Was it the drugs? I mean,
Stuck
or
up her
what?
ass.
Man,
And you want to know what was crazy? She was killing it. And I couldn't even appreciate it. Because all I was looking for was ones. Because all I saw was a stripper.
mm.
People keep forgetting I'm a bisexual woman. I wasn't looking at an artist. I was looking at a stripper. I was wondering where the pole was.
Mm.
She recently made an appearance where she had a huge split up the front and she wasn't wearing no drawers.
Yeah, I saw that. I saw that.
And he don't got no panties, huh?
Mm. Mm.
Then this was the thing for me that killed the whole Doechii thing. For me, real disappointment when she kicked the line and said that straight black men are a red flag.
Mm.
Huh?
Oh shit! I don't know if I heard that
Oh,
one.
you didn't hear that line?
I didn't hear that one. Damn. What the
Yeah,
fuck?
straight black men are a red flag.
Mm.
How do y'all feel about that as straight men? Straight black men.
I believe she's part of the agenda to kill the black male, the dominant black male in the household. She has to be part of that agenda to even get on a platform and say, "Beware of straight black men." That is why.
What you're implying is that there are no straight black men. What you're implying is that everybody has a monthly drop ship to the Peachy Man product. So let me say this. Here's real advice from a real artist who done everything you already done many times over. Stop. Stop. Whatever confusion you have about men and women, especially black men and women, stop discussing it in public. If you want to believe that all black men are potentially homosexual, then had that conversation with Issa Rae. You know, I'm sure she wouldn't mind talking about that with you. All her experiences with Diddy. Stop.
Mm.
You are embarrassing yourself and you are embarrassing your people. You are probably one of the most talented female MCs that we've seen in at least 10 years. And all you want to do is be naked? I know you from Florida, but come on.
Mm.
Come on. And y'all girls from Florida need to stop blaming it on Florida. There's plenty of places where it's hot. People have clothes on. You just want to be naked. The heat is an excuse.
Hey, yeah.
Like
Speaking of
real rat. Real
shit,
rat.
real rap,
Stop.
real rap.
Because there's other young girls who are listening to you. And now they all gonna be giving the side eye at every real black man they meet because of what you said when you was probably writing while you was high. Like that line, straight black men are a red flag, is the same to me as you look so good, I suck on your daddy's dick.
Oh yeah, yeah. I remember that one. Damn, Biggie. Shit.
And the funny thing about it is that wasn't even Biggie's line. He jacked that from Richard Pryor,
Damn. Message.
whose main writer just passed away not that long ago either. Paul Mooney.
Oh yes.
And his very complicated background with Hollywood.
Mm.
They keep tricking our people into tricking our people into not believing who we really are. If you can honestly say that straight black men are a red flag, only thing that proves is you've never met one.
Yeah, they say one could scorn all experiences after, and I think she got scorned by somebody that might
You
have.
you never read a you never met a real black man, which means you've been hanging around a bunch of punks for a long time. Because if you believe that, that means all the niggas you know are peachy men. So what is it about you that only attracts that kind of person to you? Because see, we are what we attract. I'm a bisexual woman. I have two ex-husbands and they're both bisexual as well. We are what we attract. If you only meeting peachy men and you believe that straight black men are a red flag, then that just means you spent a lot of time with niggas that suck as much dick as you.
Damn, damn.
That's your failure in life. Don't put that on the whole race. That's your failure in life. And that's whoever's raised you failure because somebody should have taught you what a real black man looks like.
Let's go.
That's failure in your life. Stop pushing that shit out to the world.
Let's go.
Stop. Because see, that's what they want you to say. Because they don't want our people to keep propagating. They don't want our people to get stronger. They want everyone to look at us like we're the freaks, we're the weirdos, we're the this, we're the that. And thanks to the Diddies and the Jiggers and the 50s and the Swiss
Mm.
and the Roses and the Drakes.
The demasculation agenda.
Don't do that. Stop now. Because I promise you, 20 years from now, you're going to be doing an interview talking about how embarrassed you were of yourself for saying that. That I promise you.
There you go.
While you're sitting there and they're talking about all your accolades and they start asking you about some of that wild shit that you had to say now that you said so that you can stay popular with the people that's putting you on, when all you gotta do is put some fucking clothes on and rap, you kill everybody.
Mm.
But now you want to
Message.
be a propaganda queen. That never turns out good. Look at Omarosa. She was a propaganda queen.
Hey, come on.
And I tell you what, she worked for the Trump administration, and I can promise you she'll never see these cards again. That's what happens to propaganda queens. They get drug out of the White House by their lace front in the middle of the night across the lawn on camera.
Blink twice. Whew. Whew. Okay, okay, Jack.
I'm
No,
sorry, but that's just what's real. I know plenty of good straight black men. And as a black woman, I am highly offended by that statement.
preach.
Your mama or your daddy should have taught you better. But I promise you one thing, Issa Rae ain't gonna teach you how to do shit, but keep doing this. Look at what they did to Tiffany Haddish. You think they won't do the same to you? Y'all get real comfortable with treacherous people. You better than me. I could never feel that comfortable. Oof. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Jack, let me ask you. This is an unserious question, but
What?
you know, speaking of famous black women, we see a woman like Onaja Robinson go over to Pakistan looking for a husband, start wiping her nose and kicking her feet, and now she's the one of the biggest sensation on the internet. What advice do you have for a woman like that who has overnight sensation on this internet, and probably is in high demand everywhere, and they just want to catch her on the street and just get something from her? What advice do you have to?
Why?
That's what I'm trying to find out.
Why?
It seems like we like to see a train wreck.
It
We love
seems
to.
like that's all that people like to see. As black people, we should be embarrassed. Real rap. And no disrespect to her, don't know her. And whatever she on, that's what she on. But that whole thing is a mess. It's a mess. It's just the stuff that people is into. I mean, she ain't no different than Charles and Netta.
Oh man, come
Like
on.
just disasters.
Yeah.
Just
Who do you,
disaster. And the thing is that's not funny. Because whatever she's going through, she's for real about that.
she's for real.
No, she's for real.
Yeah, she's for real, and we're watching it like,
But
ha ha.
that's not what the world see. And everybody is sitting there clowning and laughing and clowning and laughing and clowning and laughing. It's not cute. Like we've turned into the kind of society that enjoys watching people's pain.
Yes, it does
Like
seem like.
I'm no stranger to that. I know at least a third of the people that watch me do not see what I'm going through as anything other than entertainment. They don't see me as real. They're waiting for the next episode. Is Jag finally going to find the right man? Is Jag going to find the right woman? Is Jag going to do this? Is Jag going to do that? Is Jag going to do this? Is Jag going to do that? I got a better question. How many times do you ask yourself that question in a day?
Mm.
Like y'all be coming through having mad questions about my life. Do you have any questions about your own?
Mm.
What are you gonna do today? Are you gonna finally find the love of your life? Are you gonna finally be rich and successful? Are you? What do you ask yourself those questions?
Come on.
Like
And
people be really invested in other people's lives stories for nothing more than entertainment. Like somebody came through my chat the other day, was the last time we had to move around before I made it back to the mountain. And oh Jag, I'm so sorry this keeps happening to you. My heart just breaks for you. And I kept it a whole buck with her. I kept it a whole motherfucking bean. Sure did. Fuck your sorry, bitch. Fuck you mean you sorry? Call your congressman. Call the FBI. Tell them you're watching heinous crimes happen to a human being for no reason at all.
Mhm.
Don't be sorry.
Come on.
Sorry it's happening to me.
Come
Guess
on.
that means you glad it's not happening to you. You glad you just get to watch.
You know, it used to be black uh exploitation movies, black exploitation movies, but it seems like social media has moved to like real exploitation, just that we're just watching to find our entertainments as black people. We
They
just watch.
monetized it.
Yeah, it's
They've
crazy.
monetized. There was something else that Murad had said, and it was really interesting because they were talking about Justin Bieber um, going after the paparazzi and just saying all they
Yeah,
cared about was money and exploitation, and they didn't care about human beings. And they, you know,
yeah. I
there was
saw that.
nothing wrong with what he was saying. What he was saying was accurate. And Murad was just sitting there saying how imagine they're calling him crazy for calling these people out, but this is their job. They just stalk
Yeah,
people. Like the truth is, after what happened to Princess Diana, all that paparazzi shit should have been outlawed worldwide.
exactly.
No, seriously, it should have been outlawed.
Yeah, to check to
They were
chase
trying.
someone.
Princess Diana was trying. They were trying to get away from the paparazzi. That's how she died.
Mhm.
You know, the way the paparazzi gaslit Britney Spears.
Yeah, yeah, no.
Like
Hopefully,
it's they're the crazy ones. The people that make a living out of annoying other people. The people that make a living out of stalking people. The people that make a living who live for this. This is what you do for a living. You go to sleep. Oh man, I just gotta get up. I gotta get a shot of Britney. Oh man, just one shot of Britney is like what, 25K.
and you can't touch them.
Why not?
Right? Exactly.
What they're doing is criminal.
Exactly.
It's criminal. It's criminal. Constantly invading someone's privacy. It's criminal. Making a spectacle out of someone. It's criminal.
Yeah.
People literally waiting for you to go from here to here just so they can get you with a picture with your mouth open and say you were high. Like they sit around and they think about this.
Society.
Man, I just say, look, I just need one more viral Jag video and I can take the kids to Disney World, man. What am I gonna say today? Uh, oh yeah, she screwed her kid. Come on. All right, we got it. We got it. That's what we're doing. Yeah, she did that. I want y'all to just really think about this though. For all of you that play that game. Maybe man's law won't do nothing to you, but God's law is defined. Thou shalt not bear false witness. That's a crime against God. That's breaking his law.
Amen.
You want to lie on yourself all day, all night if you want to. You can do that. You have to live with the ramifications of that. But when you start lying on other people, what you're actually doing is breaking the commandments. Those are God's law. And he might not come quick, and he might not come immediately. But when my God shows up, I promise you, you'll feel him. You will feel him. Every last one of you have actually sired yourself to hell. Every lie you've ever told on me, everything you've ever done, you ran afoul of God. And the sad part about it is you did it against me and damned yourself when all I'm doing is telling you what God says. You're not even mad at me for me. You're mad at me because of what I believe in and what I stand up for. But what I believe in and what I stand up for comes from God. You ain't got a me problem. You have a God problem. If I'm doing everything that God asked me to do, and everything that I've said has manifested as I said it would, that should be enough to let you know your arms ain't your arms is too short to box with God. And when God chooses to make a human being a miracle, because that's what he does with all of us, he makes us miracles.
Amen.
Why don't none of y'all want to be a miracle for God? Because the simple fact that I'm here right now, able to speak, still, that ain't nothing but a miracle.
Amen.
With all that they've done to try to stop my breathing problem, because there's a lot of people that feel like I got a breathing problem too, and they want me to stop.
It ain't happening.
Blah, blah,
It ain't
blah.
happening. It ain't happening. It ain't happening. There you go. There you go.
Man. It's
Jag
just
and
10. It's just 10. All he
right.
gave us is 10. 10. Not 20, not 80 million. Just 10. Why can't we ever keep them?
You can follow 10.
Man,
Man, I mean,
10
they make it harder.
steps.
Come on.
10 steps to not running afoul of God and living a decent life and dying with dignity, honor, and integrity.
Yes.
Because all of that stuff that y'all doing to compromise yourselves for, you don't get to take it with you. And the truth is, most of y'all got it from the industry, so most of y'all not going to be able to keep it because they always come to collect and they take back everything that they gave you with interest. Think about that next time y'all want to run around and start spreading all this weird propaganda. Think about what you're doing it for.
That's right.
And on that note, Jaguar Wright Uncensored podcast,
Yeah, there you go.
affiliated channels, Set in the West,
There you
Natural
go.
One. Um, our team is growing. You know, our
W-
community is growing.
Will we see
Oh,
more?
and shout out to Real News. She's another one of the new correspondents we're working with. Actually, that was the person who volunteered to be our correspondent at the courthouse
Okay.
for the Diddy trial in May.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
One know
What?
what's funny?
Please.
Oh yeah, and I started a Cameo account because people are always coming through asking me if I can sing a song, and sometimes we run goals, and sometimes I share music, and you might as well get a Cameo, and then this way they can come
I love it.
and they can put in a donation and they can get a special request from me themselves. So, you know that,
Amazing.
and then Jaquilla
Yeah, but
and
say, will we see Jack Quilla? That's what I want to know.
oh
Will
yeah.
we? Okay.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Jaquilla, she's she's loving it. And I
Well,
can't wait for her to really just open up. Because the truth is, she taught cash money bullshit better than I do.
there you go. We're excited, man. We're excited on the journey you're about to take us on.
Oh yeah,
Just
and
to
I
wow.
almost forgot. I'm signed to a new management company, Push Management.
Okay, shout out Push Management. Shout out Push Management, man. We got hopefully and all expectedly is going to be taking you to the next level. Just quick question: May
Mhm.
12th is the opening statements of the Diddy trial.
Mhm.
Can our audience hopefully see more of you during, right before, right during, or can we get some more Jaguar Wright on the blue couch, virtually, in person, whatever? Can we get some more of you during this trial, and will we see you? Can you
I
say
couldn't imagine us not
okay,
at this time.
okay,
No, just the journey and the catalog of work we've done together. At the end of the day, regardless of what anybody got to say,
come on,
we have made history repeatedly,
come
time
on,
and time again. You know, somebody asked me something about someone, and I was saying that I might not always appreciate the ingredients. I might not even dig the process. But the real thing that counts is when you serve that meal. Can I eat it and enjoy it? Is it good to me? Does it nourish me? Does it leave me satisfied? And I think when it comes to us, people might not always like the ingredients. They might not always appreciate the process.
come on.
But the views say they like the meal.
Hey,
And
and
that's history.
and there you go. And we're about to bring a full feast. So with that being said, we have to say it, Jaguar Wright. Once again, history is being made, and we thank you. We appreciate you, and we have to say it once again, Jaguar Wright. You are a real life street star
And a
and
defender of freedom.
and a defender of freedom. We gotta salute it. We gotta salute it. That's it, man. Jaguar Wright. We got in the bag, man. Thank you again. We appreciate you. Have a blessed one. Be
Y'all,
God and be good.
y'all just keep keeping it real like we've been keeping it real, and we just gonna keep on.
There you go. We on. Appreciate it, Jack. Thank you so much.
See you.
See you soon.
Shout out Reallyfe Street Stars, nigga. Move. Hey.